This episode is supported by Battlefilm.com.
Good morning, everyone. It is the Weekender. It's Az here with Beast of War. Today I'm very honoured to be joined by a special guest. A very welcome return of the wondrous, amazing Justin, who was at SteamCon last weekend.
Yeah.
Hey, Justin.
Hey, Justin.
We've also got the amazing, ever so sexy and furious Ben.
Hello.
And that's us. So today, no, Warren's here as well.
Howdy.
You got off Babby duty?
What?
You got off Babby duty?
I'm gradually getting things sorted so as I can start to get back. I am tired. I'm very tired.
If halfway through the show Warren just plants out of the seat, don't worry, he's fine. He's just taking a nap.
Yeah,
Yes.
so just it's a pleasure to have him here. But
we'll
let you have a nap if needed.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a passenger, but I will gradually get. I have no clue what's going on in the world right now, but I'm excited to learn. It's a huge relief from everything that's going on Babby-wise to be back in among my friends and to be able to just steep myself in some hobby and some tabletop. So I'm really looking forward to getting stuck in. What I'm most looking forward to, though, is next Friday night.
Yeah, look, he's
on the ball.
He's over there, but he's still steering HMS Beast of War. What's next Friday night, Warren?
Next Friday night, we are live streaming the 3rd annual awards.
The reason he had to say it is because I'm terrified.
It is going to be a doozy. We are kicking off at 9 p.m. We have no fixed finish time because we have no flipping idea how long it's going to take. 13
categories. The amount we can ramble, it could be 4 a.m.
We have 13 categories. It's a full, uninterrupted live show that we're going to be going through all of the categories. We're going to be have our presenters in here doing the awards, but we're also going to cut to probably the hobby hall where the rest of the crew and stuff like that will be mingling.
Would you please stop making promises? As soon as you said uninterrupted, I nearly panicked.
It's going to be amazing. And
Mystery Box.
The universe has been smiling upon us.
Right.
Because the very week that we got ready for the annual awards, our local store that does dinner suit hire went bust, and we got the suits for cheap. Yes! We now own our own suits! So not only did we get this year's award sorted, provided none of us change size, we have every year sorted.
It's true. You couldn't have written it because we were looking to see who will we go to, who do we always go to. We'll go to the same place. We'll try someone different this time. And it just so happened that the first people we rang said, actually, we do them for a couple of quid every night, but you can actually have them for a couple of quid more. Take them.
Yeah, he says, you know what? You've called me at a great time. I'll give up. I just want rid of it all. So you're 40 quid for a night hire. Tell you what, 50 quid you can own the suits.
Yeah.
I said, right, that's it.
And
so
I've actually been clever. I have future-proofed mine.
You've future-proofed yours?
Yes.
What, you've built a nappy into it or something, have you?
No, I got a couple of sizes
not
too
that far
big.
future-proofed then. No, okay, right.
No, I got a size bigger.
Oh, you got...
That's Christmas proofing. That's great.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
well,
yeah.
I future-proofed mine because I got mine just a slightly size smaller.
Nice.
we will hopefully meet somewhere in the middle there somewhere. So.
Oh, that's going to be a weird day.
Yes, but we are going to be all tuxed up.
Yeah.
This is a big deal, these annual awards, because there's no other annual awards has more community participation in it than these. So this is a big deal for us. So I'm really looking forward to this. And the voting has been extraordinarily close.
Insanely tight categories. Oh, it's been like...
Can't say yet, hush!
Yeah.
So it's going to be the makings of a good night. We're still in the process of some final bits and pieces of plans. But there will be lots of activities that you can participate in and get involved in. And we want your participation. We want your chat. We want you. We absolutely want to hear your usual. They didn't deserve that award. It should have went to these guys.
And we can say the community voted for it.
And we can
it was all you guys.
Do you know what? You're right. And so is he, and she, and she, and he, and he, and he, she. And you're all right. It's going to be great. Really looking forward to it.
One of the things I love about the awards, there are still people who won our first annual award who still put the little award logo on their stuff.
And so they should. And we will be doing a shout out to last year's winners and so on as well. So it's going to be a great night of celebration. 3rd annual awards, and then as soon as that's over, we will start the preparation for the 4th annual awards, because it takes months. So now we're going to just start straight away.
So next year, if it takes us 10 months through the awards, we'll be a month quicker. That's like 10% faster than last year.
Yeah. So yeah, it's great.
That's next weekend.
Really looking forward to it. Yeah. Now this weekend, if anybody is watching this on the Saturday morning, they're bound to have been exhausted by yesterday, because it's been Black Friday weekend.
Tell us your battle tales. Tell us how many children you had to push out of the way to get a Wii or a... What's cool? What's down with the kids these days?
Switch.
The Switch these days.
Is it the Switch, Nintendo Switch?
Yeah, that or the mini Super Nintendos that they're doing now.
Oh goodness, yeah.
One of those I want one so bad.
Yeah. Is anything on the Black Friday thing? I've got to say, Andrea.
Hold on.
Andrea took me into a TV shop.
Oh God. Okay.
To have a look at a 4K TV. And I was like, oh, and some of the prices, like some of them are half price, you know, at the moment. And I was saying to her, but you know, can we afford this? Andrea handles all of the finances in our house, so I am crap with it. You know, anybody that's watching over the years would know that I am as irresponsible. You couldn't trust me with 50p. Yeah, I am that irresponsible. So a family could not rely on me whatsoever. So Andrea 100% controls all of that. I'm very frugal because she makes me that way. It's like, but she took me into this TV shop and she was saying, "What do you think of that TV? What do you think of that?" And I was going, "Yeah, but should we really be looking at these?" And she says, "Do you think I would be letting you look at them if I couldn't find a way to pay for them?"
Oh, that's good that she's not just teasing you.
So it was. So we were looking at the TVs, and there was, you know, you can pick up a 4K TV now for $400 or $500.
Yeah.
But I was having a look at them, and there's some of them are pretty good. You know, and I was going, oh. But I said to her, "No, it's okay."
CBeebies would look great on this.
Because I'm trying to resist. You know, I'm trying to resist the whole Black Friday thing, because I think it's a case of that they Black Friday into our minds to make us go and look at big ticket items like a TV and stuff like that there. So, you know, I was saying to her, "Look, I love you dearly, and it was really nice you did that, but you know what? Let's keep saving up. Let's keep saving up, because someday we're going to have enough money for me to spend Christmas in a castle." That's what I really want. I want a castle. I want to be able to spend Christmas in a castle.
So what, are we actually going to have Beast of War towers within your castle?
I just do you not think it would be amazing
Christmas
waking up
dinner
on
in a
Christmas
castle?
morning in a castle with your family and some of your extended family,
chosen very carefully,
carefully chosen, and then you come down, you know, and you're coming down the tartan carpets on the stairs and stuff like that. There,
you see,
wouldn't it be amazing with the swords up on the walls and the shields.
I'm total Home Alone. I'd want to be in a big castle of my own. I'd like to throw the 20-foot tall drapes open and look over, you know, 20 acres of garden that's covered in snow and just go, close the door, go back and sit by the fire and have a whiskey. And
I'm a far simpler creature. I just want to go visit my mum for Christmas.
don't know where we can go from that.
So Ben, what's happening in the miniatures world that people should be doing if they haven't already done?
Yes, Black Friday weekend. Do we have? Is there still the people are still doing sales even at the moment? Yeah.
To be honest with you, companies were starting on Thursday.
Yeah.
I think Battlefoam's offer started on Thursday. There's a couple of different guys.
But they haven't run out. If we talk about them now, they haven't run out.
We're telling you right now, we can hold we offer no stock levels at Beast of War.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just tell you what the deals were now, and if you get them, great.
Right.
We got loads of them. Oh my goodness.
Well, what have we seen so far then?
Go on, Ben.
Yeah, so we've got loads and loads of fantastic deals that came up throughout the week. A lot of them actually, some of them even started on Monday, and they've been doing a whole bunch of stuff going through, even to the Monday after Cyber Monday as well, which is pretty insane.
Free tanks from Warlord.
Yeah, loads of stuff that's happening over this weekend. We've got some amazing stuff coming out of Warlord Games. They're doing a whole bunch of stuff across all their different sort of gaming systems, which is pretty cool. So you got some really nice stuff for Bolt Action. You got Gates of Antares, things like that. Infinity are doing some really cool stuff. I mean, Corvus Belli, they're doing some really nice ways to get introduced into the game that way, which is really cool. Mantic are doing their
scroll up there. What's Battlefoam got going on then this weekend for?
So Battlefoam have got like a mega sale going on across most of their range.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of different discount levels for foam inserts. You've got bags as well going on. You've got the Magna Rack, which is in there as well, which we've talked about recently, which is a really, really cool thing as well. As well as doing a lot of stuff with board game foam. So if you're one of those people that really likes their foam inserts for a lot of their board game boxes, then you can go stuff like that, which is really cool.
I might have to go and get involved in some of that. It might be time to get the Blood Rage foam insert from me, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been a fan of that ever since they did Space Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as the Space Hulk came out a few years back, Battlefoam were straight out there with a foam insert for the Space Hulk box that fitted the box perfectly, and all your minis went into each custom cut area.
All your tiles went in.
And that's the key for me. I think that is because those games, even board games that come with fantastic inserts, are usually just that plastic form stuff, and there's usually wiggle room. And the worst thing is there's usually about an inch of space. Once you've taken all the wrapping off everything, you're usually left with an inch. And what then just happens is that comes up in movement, and it all just goes up and around, and it comes back down, and you open it, and it's just all over the place. No matter how well they design it, I'm yet to come across one that's just been perfect. But the foam, because they know what it's like opened out of the box, ready to play, it's
nicer. I'm nodding, but I didn't understand a word of that.
No, really? Oh man! Leftover Memoir 44.
So you had an inch, and the inch was moving up and down, and it was
Leftover Memoir 44, right?
Memoir 44.
Right.
Okay.
Let's go send them over right now,
Okay.
and I'll show you the exact problem. The Memoir 44 have done actually a pretty good job of this.
Right.
Because
Memoir 44 on the way. Justin, there's your mammoth.
Hey,
right.
he returned.
Now look, I'll show right now. Let's see if I can get a camera in on this. You can see that this is suffering from.
You'll need to go to your wide
This
cam.
is all I want here. See this?
All right. Okay.
See this little centimeter here?
Yes.
This is because I'll go a little bit taller. So this is because the box is lifting up slightly.
Yeah.
Because actually it's bulging.
Yes.
Because what's happened is no one can ever get it back in the box the same way they put it in. I see. Look, I'm overflowing.
Right. Okay.
But Memoir 44 is actually a good one because what they do, they have these. Check this out. So they have these little boxes that actually come with a lid on top. So you have your tanks, and
They're so cute.
You put these are teeny. I don't even know what scale these are close to actually.
10 mil.
10 mil?
Oh no.
Smaller.
6
mil.
6 mil. Yeah.
Okay.
So you have your unit of Germans there, and then you put your little lid over the top of it, and that'll hold them in place. But what they don't tell you is that this is actually kind of free moving. So there's a little bit of space below it, and what that little space below it is for is to put all your sandbags.
Yes.
And your infantry, and then that's meant to sit below like that. Now, in theory, it's a fantastic idea.
Yes.
But in practice,
Doesn't work.
Just doesn't work.
Right.
No matter what way you rejig this box, and you take this tray out, and it's full of stuff, and you try and very strategically slot it back together, and never. It's a pain. And that's why I love the Battlefoam stuff. And now I wish I hadn't started. Like now I've just.
Yes.
So
everywhere.
It's not an optical inch. It is
So
an actual
because
actual inch.
all the hexes, all the cardboard hexes, these pieces here, they all come initially on punch-out cardboard.
That's right.
And the cardboard comes in sheets, which fit in the box. But as soon as you've punched them out, then that centimeter or inch, whatever that was, of cardboard sheets is now gone. So what they do instead is they give you these insert areas where you can put them in here, like this. But look, you've got room now. And what ends up happening, that little room, because of space, they fall out and they go everywhere. So no matter how careful you are, there's some exceptions, but I wish I hadn't started. I
had the exact same problem with Spartacus Blood and Treachery when I got it.
You just couldn't get it all in the box.
No, you can get it all in the box, but because it's just that little bit of extra space, you would have all your tokens sorted out to one side, all your money in the middle, all your gladiators out to the side, and cards and everything just everywhere.
Rotate.
There you go.
Okay, well, I'm not going to sit here for the entire show watching you trying to put this back together.
So, Ben, what else?
You can be as anal as you want about this, but get the box out. Who else have we got? Later. I saw Rob there doing some crazy Bobby salesman pitch.
Black Friday is coming!
Yeah, so Rob's continuing to live his life as his persona, which is Crazy Bobby, and he's doing a whole bunch of stuff with Mantic Games. Their big thing is that they're going to have stuff going on across the weekend, but every hour things are going to be changing, so there's going to be hourly deals popping up and things like that. They're also going to be doing their crazy boxes, which is basically a lot of stuff from across the different ranges built into one sort of mystery prize box, I guess you'd say. So you can go pick those up, and there's going to be ones themed around sci-fi and fantasy and all these different kind of things like that. There's also going to be ways for you to potentially win free stuff as well, so there's going to be free board games and all sorts of things thrown into the mix, like you've got Walking Dead in there and stuff, and Mars Attacks as well, which is really cool. But yeah, so they're going to have a whole bunch of different deals over the rest of the weekend for Mantic Games. Yeah.
Fantastic. So Corvus Belli are in there as well?
Yeah, so the guys at Corvus Belli are going to be doing some Infinity, some ways for you to get into Infinity.
Wow.
So there's options for picking up the Onyx Contact Force and the Toha Force as well, so if you want to get stuck in on the sort of tournament side there. But there's also ways for you to pick up Operation Ice Storm and Operation Red Veil as well, with a little bit of the additional stuff thrown in as well.
Absolutely. On boxes, yeah.
Yeah, they would be top of my list of what to be going for.
You see, I would get them, and then I would maybe get 1 or 2 blisters on top, because it says here, free shipping on orders over 80.
€80. Yeah.
So just put yourself just up over that threshold and get your shipping for free.
That's how they're getting you.
I don't know, because those are quite big boxes.
Oh, absolutely. They're massive.
A little bit for the shipping.
They're basically half price.
Yeah.
Cool. What else we got, Ben? What else is after Corvus?
So next up we got the guys at Steamforged Games. They're going to be doing something a little bit special. So they're going to have a whole bunch of very exclusive miniatures that will be available over this period, so over the next couple of days. And each day they're going to be showing off a couple more previews as well, which is really cool. But here you can see one of the Xmas miniatures that they're going to be showing off there. So a lot of it's based around Black Friday, but it's also got a bit of a Christmas theme to it as well. So I think if you go and follow through to the not that thing particularly there, but I think they've shared it on social media. They've been showing off some really interesting looking reindeers and all sorts of different sort of cutesy, cartoony things as well, which is really cool.
That is really cool, though. Like the fact that they're doing something, not just a deal, but they're actually making some stuff specifically and releasing it over the weekend to kind of give you little hints. And
Steamforged are rightly earning their place in the pantheon of the top games companies in the industry at the moment, because on one of the things that they've been doing, which has been incredibly impressive for me, is this desire, this capability of being able to create custom models quickly for specific events, for and models that they may never even make.
Oh yes,
and stuff like that. You know, the fact that they've been putting their design skills and their obvious excellent production capability to good use has been great. So anybody that is invested in the universes that Steamforged have created are just, it's like every day is like Christmas Day at the moment from what those guys are doing. And it reminds me very much of the Corvus Belli model. You know, Corvus Belli really take care of their community in that sense, with lots of custom models, you know, lots of exclusive models that you can pick up from time to time. And what it gives, because we are all collectors at heart in that theme, and it gives us the ability to constantly drive the narrative forward in our heads and stuff, and you get to engage with the hobby without it necessarily being so rigid, so structured all the time. I love it. I love it, and their designs are just superb.
Out of this world.
And I have been drooling, absolutely drooling, over the Guild Ball boxes. As a piece of design, flip me.
PVC, they've got, and the models are absolutely unbelievable.
But
just
whole,
aesthetically.
the whole aesthetics of the entire thing. It's a company that is nailing design at the moment. You know, the miniatures are great. There is no doubt about that. But the overall presentation of the miniatures in that box, the box itself, like, you know, I've had boxes. You take the minis out, you chuck the box away. I want to just sit and caress and keep the box. And when I saw your painted Guild Ball
I'm a blacksmith
set in the box, it looked like a trophy.
Yeah.
And this was with your painting.
No, I get what you're saying. The packaging for it is very clever, and the fact that whenever you pick up one of the sets, you have absolutely everything you're going to need to play. Now, you can buy extras and add-ons for it, but you don't have to. You don't have to go the next level with it. You can just play with what you've got.
It all suggests to me a company that very much knows what they're doing, and they are going to town on it.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised to see this. Who else have we got on the Black Friday then?
So we got the guys at Privateer Press who are going to be doing their sales across the weekend as well. They've got a whole bunch of different things. So they've got a whole bunch of individual model sets that you can go and pick up, but they're also going to be doing a whole bunch of armies as well. Some of the ones they showed off include a huge Khador force, and there's also a huge Circle Oubre force as well. So if you're interested in the worlds of War Machines and Hordes, really nice ways for you to go and get stuck into that. Maybe pick yourselves up some armies and get started in there. You have to check a lot of stuff in terms of US and UK. So when you go over to their web store, just make sure that there's some shipping costs, whatever, involved in that as well. So just be careful on that front. But
and then Foreground are running 25% off all products.
Yeah, so this is one that a whole bunch of people in
awesome.
the comments were exceptionally excited about.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh my god, I could finally pick up everything I wanted from Fabled Realms."
That is a deal. 25% off everything. I shall have everything. Well, I have said it till I'm blue in the face, and I know that I am not alone on this. But as a range of terrain goes, that Fabled Realms stuff is just, oh my god! So it's like,
to get another shopping mall.
I love the shopping mall, right? I do love the shopping mall.
For me, it's my favorite piece to do.
And and having a bigger one, well, bigger is better.
More is more.
But even the shopping mall, when compared to the Fabled Realms, I look at that Fabled Realms stuff, Justin. I want to live in it. I just want to live in it. That's how cool it is. And every time I see that Fabled Realms stuff come out onto one of our tabletops, it looks like flipping Disneyland to me.
Yeah.
You know, it just has that. It has that sense of that little touch of perfection to it that just makes me want to go, I wish I was yay high and I could run around this and just live in it. 25% off.
I was talking to Cad the other day,
really cool.
actually, and because we have a few new bits of foreground stuff in the studio now that we're going to look at showing off later. But one of the things that got me is the new convenience store, which is kind of like a smaller version of the shopping mall, nice long store.
Yeah.
Silliest thing in the world. But the back of it has a little entranceway where vans would pull up and offload merchandise. And the little shutter goes up, tilts to 90 degrees, and slides in like a proper roller door. And I was like, and I messaged Cad going, Cad, the door makes me so happy. Because for me, the Fabled Realms stuff specifically makes me want to role play. Because the stuff is so, it's the tiers of elements. When I see one of their inns or one of the blacksmiths, I'm like, I just want to set up an evening where we all just get in an inn with our characters and we work our way through the building and have a 4-hour role-playing session all in this one building because they're so beautiful and detailed.
The stoic arms.
Yeah, this is something we discussed whenever it first came out. We wanted to actually do a role-playing session where you were trying to escape from the stoic arms, fighting your way from one of the top rooms down and out.
Like Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon? No.
Maybe
it's the movie where he fights up the temple.
Yes, where he fights up the tower. It's not Enter the Dragon.
No, it's not Enter the Dragon. It's going to...
And to Google.
I don't know what it is.
Someone tell us.
Is it Dance of Death or something? Or
someone tell us.
Right, who's next then?
Next up, we've got the guys at Deep Cut Studio. They're going to be doing up to 50% off a whole bunch of their different mats. So if you're interested in picking a whole range of the different mats that they do for sci-fi, fantasy, and all these different things like that, in different scales as well, then you can go and check out their web store and see what they have on offer.
The other thing about Deep Cut, I don't know if it applies. If it does, it's worth looking at. Deep Cut do this incredibly innovative thing now, where you can actually design your own mat, and you can send through your own design for a mat, and they will print a one-off custom mat of your own design. Since seeing that,
can we get one with just Warren's face on it?
No, but
there is no terrain setting for that. Like there is no.
You know that I have a thing for mats.
Yeah.
Okay. I really do have a thing for mats. I think I'm possibly now getting to that stage in my life where I could take all my expertise in mats and bring it to a mat that would have all of the Warrenisms in it. Right?
Are we leaving 3D printing and heading to mat design?
Well, I'm very, very tempted. I'm very tempted. We have a lot of work on at the moment with Beast 4 2.0 and everything going on. But as soon as things start to calm down and myself and Lloyd actually start to get a little bit of breathing room, I'm going to see if I can convince Lloydie to work with me on a mat design. And we will actually, I'm going to have a go at creating our own mat and we'll vlog the process of it. And I'll explain why it's been designed the way it's been designed, and
we'd have to try and get the link or the mat or the graphic available for the Beast out there to say come and play in the Beast of War homeworld or whatever it's going to be, and come and join us in a scenario.
We'll see if we get one from Deep Cut, but we can see if Deep Cut, if anybody wants to pick up the mat, Deep Cut, we would say to Deep Cut, we're quite happy for anybody.
I'd want to sneak like little Easter eggs in it, little tiny Justin.
What are you gonna do? Like a Where's Justin on the mat? Just get me in the red and white stripy suit.
No, he'd be buried. It'd be a little Justin grave there.
No, it would have to be the John headstone.
A John headstone somewhere. But no, it's another cracking piece of innovation.
Absolutely.
Like I know we're looking at cool things like double-sided mats and stuff, but Deep Cut are first to market, as far as I'm aware, with this idea of you being able to send them your own design, and they will.
I've heard of stuff, mousepad size, even card game size, but never something like 6x4.
But think about this as, it's like, let's pull away from the wargaming mat, right? As board gamers, right? An experienced board gamer and somebody's been dragged into it willingly, okay? Pick your favorite picture, favorite picture of a dragon or something, and you have your own kind of board gaming.
I was jumping way further ahead. I was thinking Ticket to Ride with a perfect square in the middle where the board would sit, and each player has their own little section on the board, and then so you'd have, because one of the worst things Ticket to Ride is you have 45 trains to look after, and you want to line them all up, and then someone comes along, hits the table, and they move. They all have their little places on the mat.
If you have your favorite game,
actually print it out and have the control areas or the actual layout of where you're supposed to.
Imagine us doing that for Spartacus. Where you want to play a game of Spartacus, you just roll it out, and all the control boards are actually printed in.
Games at Guild Force and then actually do like a vinyl one you can.
If they do a vinyl one, but that's the kind of thing.
You could remove cardboard elements and put them into your table.
You actually fit them in. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, it could.
It's I'm going to talk to them to see if they can do an inflatable rim, because the Warren inflatable gaming table is going to be a thing someday.
Inflatable gaming.
If you missed that was a couple of weeks ago, I think, on XLBS, was it?
I think I wasn't here for this one.
Yes, in Backstage, I have invented the inflatable gaming table. So I have a problem at home, right? In that my kids are old enough to throw dice, but not old enough to realize that throwing dice is not an Olympic sport. So dice go everywhere, and the little tiny poly dice always seem to go down the back of the sofas and things like that.
Why are you using tiny poly dice with little hands?
Because My Little Pony, man.
Okay.
I play the My Little Pony RPG with all of my kids, and they use the poly dice.
Okay, now I was going to suggest getting big oversized ones, but if they're throwing it like a shot put, that might not be good for the Windows mouse.
What I've come up with, Justin, is right. So the way you get inflatable beds, right? Yeah. And inflatable beds can have that kind of fleecy material on the top, right? So imagine, right, a table surface made of like a nice green or a burgundy fleecy material,
right?
And then round the edge is an inflatable square bit, right?
Yeah.
So you actually get what would be a bit like a gambling table. Do you know where you have the edges to stop the dice from going on? So and then whenever you want to play a game, you just pump this thing up, right? And then it inflates, and it can either be circular or hexagonal or square, whatever way we get it cut. Okay, and it comes out. And the reason
how high is it going to be?
About yawn high, about 3 inches, 3 to 4 inches.
I don't think that's long enough.
3 to 4 inches.
I think you need to get it bigger.
No, because then you're having to reach over it.
Yeah, but if your kids are chucking them about really hard...
but my kids need to be able to reach over it, Justin. Otherwise,
like, set it on the floor or something.
No. It sits on the table. 3 inches is enough, because the dice will not jump that high. Right. So it's but later on, that nice fleecy burgundy material again could have a picture of your favorite dragon or whatever on it. And the beauty of this is the reason it needs to be inflatable is because I don't have space for a gaming table in our house. We just don't have the room for it. So what I need is an inflatable gaming top surface.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll talk to Deep Cut. Anybody else?
Yeah, loads more people.
We're probably going to have to start rattling through here because.
Okay. So Willy Miniatures. What are they? Whoa, slow down now. So Willy Miniatures, 25% discount with a code. We have. There we go. Black Willy. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one, right? So Weird are doing. What are they doing? What are they?
So they're doing their Black Friday sale, but this also includes a whole bunch of different things around their game worlds as well. So if you like any of their other board games that they've been doing and stuff like that, you can get involved in that side, as well as looking at all the fantastic miniatures they do for the worlds of Malifaux. We actually looked last week at some of their special stuff they're going to be showing off this weekend, which is like the Christmas set for Rasputina. So if you like that, you can go and jump into this and give it a go.
Okay. Who else? Scorched Earth are doing 20% off. Litco are doing 20% off. Tabletop World have done a menu. Goodness me. Oh, so it's free stuff depending on how much you order. Oh, very nice. Cool. Their stuff, it just rocks, though. Arena Rex, 15% off. Oh, look at that bowl just in.
Yep.
Chaos Cards are doing something. Westwind, what are they doing? Faction Plus rulebooks, down to 30 quid.
Yeah,
that's a good save.
Yeah, isn't it?
25 quid off. Army Painter.
Oh, what is this?
What does this get?
So Army Painter are doing their sort of 10th anniversary style sale at the same time as Black Friday. So what you can do is you can go and get a whole bunch of money off a whole bunch of their different products on their store. But also you can enter a little bit of a draw, which will mean that you might actually win one of the first paint sets that they've done in the style, which comes with a really nice sort of painting hobby area, as well as all the different paints that come with it as well, and the brushes and all this. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, you can go and pick that up and get involved with that competition as well.
Awesome. Protoss have 25% off. Micro Art Studio have 30% off. Goodness me. Firelock of 20%. Does this ever end? Art of War 15% off. Wayland Games up to 80% off. Oh my word!
My wallet's twitching.
My wallet
is just no
80% off. Oh
yeah,
it's gotta be shite. What are you selling at 80% off? It'll be mad, isn't it? Yeah. Like Black Friday is just insane, isn't it?
And lastly, we have Ramshackle Games doing their Black Friday thing. 20 parts or figures for 30 quid.
For 30 quid, right? Okay, I'm sure there are others. So
yeah.
There'll be a lot more as well.
Yeah,
we'll be updating it and keeping that fresh.
Yeah,
right.
Madness.
Yeah.
Well,
we have to talk about ourselves for a bit now.
Okay, go for it.
Because we have a ton of stuff going on as well, and we're giving our stuff away for free.
Yep.
If you win it. If you
100% discount.
All it costs is a couple of typey types. So first up, we've just come to the end of Aristeia week. But we're giving away a whole ton of prizes. Justin, I'm going to let you take this one because it literally is a whole ton of prizes.
Do I need to engage the sales voice?
Engage the script.
Okay. So, one lucky winner is going to win every expansion that comes out in 2018 for Aristeia. That includes Soldier of Fortune, plus 3 more as far as we know so far. We also have, I believe it's 10 more 10 more sets to give away, 5 of which are Miyamoto Musashi, and 5 of which are Major Luna blisters. I believe that's it.
Yeah.
So 11 prizes in total.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but that big prize is nuts. It means if you pick up Aristeia, you have every expansion. You don't need to worry about it.
Yeah.
That's got to be nice, isn't it? Just knowing that as one comes out, you're going, Don't have to worry about it. It's coming to me.
Yeah, and you'll
coming to
probably
me.
get it before anybody else as well, because it will be on that list.
So Facebook, YouTube, or on Beasts of War. So wherever you're watching us this Saturday, go and leave your comments still in the Friendly Week, and we'll announce
any of the videos or all of the videos of the themed week.
Put them all
Get
down.
your comments in
Videos
there.
or posts, because it's posted on Facebook.
Okay, that'll do.
We'll announce the winners of those in a future weekender, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of announcing winners, so we've been running for the past 2 weeks GameMat.EU's competition to name a game mat. So that was their brand new Necromunda-esque mat that's going to be coming out in December, and we have given people, I think we've had over 300 different comments with multiple suggestions. I think we're up to 1,000 different name suggestions. So 3 people are going to have their names selected as winners, potential winners, of getting to name the actual mat. So each one of those 3 are going to get a copy of the mat, and one of those 3 is going to be chosen as the permanent name for the mat going forward. So that's closed Friday, just past at 5 o'clock, and we are then going to pick the 3 names, and we'll announce those as well in a future weekender.
Awesome.
Coolly.
Now, because those were both kind of things that are kind of wrapping up, and you got your last ditch, we've got a couple of new things. So first of all, we've got the Battle Foam P.A.C.K Mini that we announced as a competition. Yes, this bad boy here that we announced last week, we were giving away. Now this we're going to choose a winner for, and we're going to announce it at the end of today's show. So that one's done. Give that back to you. What we're also going to do at the end of the show is, because the Kickstarter for Core Space has been going on, the Battle Systems guys, they are already funded.
Awesome.
Super happy to say. There's still weeks to go, so looking forward to see what the stretch goals and stuff look like for that. But what we're going to do at the end of the show is we're going to tell you guys at home how you can win one of the Battle Systems terrain sets, the Galactica terrain set.
Do we have a picture of that?
I believe I do not.
All right. Well, we do know it's on the screen. Yeah.
Post-editing work.
So
Thanks,
the Galactic Set is being given away in this episode. To find out how you could be in with a chance of winning that, we're going to make an announcement at the end of the show.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick break there, and we'll be right back with some of the latest news.
Fame and fortune awaits in Blood and Plunder. Set sail in the golden age of piracy and claim the riches of the Caribbean at beastsofwar.com. Twisted aliens and demented cultists battle across the devastating science fiction world of Dark Age. Muster your forces and learn to survive at beastsofwar.com.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We're going to have a quick chat then at what's been happening in the news. We've got some breaking, brand new exclusive details over on the site right now. Ben's going to run us through what's happening, sir.
Yeah, so this was some exclusive news out of Warcradle Studio, who obviously have taken over the reins of Wild West Exodus. And they wanted to share with us their sneak peek at a really awesome Christmas miniature they're going to be releasing between the 1st of December all the way up to the 30th. It'll also be available next year, just in case you miss out on this year. But this is Kyle the Red and White. This is Attack Dog Max, the canine, as you can see here. And it's very, very cool. It's an awesome little feature piece that you can use in your games as well, because they're going to supply it with an additional base, which is really cool. So you can use them as alternative models when you're playing your games of Wild West Exodus. Maybe you want to come up with some kind of Christmas-themed scenario. But yeah, this one's looking absolutely fantastic. It's really nice to see them doing something a little bit exclusive and a little bit fun as well.
Is that dude holding a dystopian's warship?
I think
well,
so.
it's actually a Union battleship from the world of Wild West Exodus, but it would be quite interesting if we see some kind of crossover stuff happening.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool. So yeah,
that's kind of funky.
Let's see the rear, Justin. Let's see the butt of it.
Oh yes, you always have to look at the. Oh, that's his sack.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
And he's standing on a can of RJ 1027.
Is that what that is?
Yes.
I thought that was Guinness. Okay, I'm less impressed now.
Wishful thinking.
No, that is quite the something.
It's a real nice celebration.
On the topic of Wild West Exodus, right? This week, I'm deviating. I apologize. I'm deviating. But this week, there was a great news story out. Okay. About somebody. They think they have found a new photograph of Billy the Kid.
No way.
I swear, right. So there's currently, this would be the 3rd photograph of Billy the Kid, if it's ultimately confirmed. And there's something really special about this one that I'll come to in a second. The first official confirmed photograph of Billy the Kid is this amazing photograph of Billy the Kid standing with his rifle. You know, he just looks like I'm the And man, yeah. Totally in there, Sham.
Oh, don't say Sham.
Oh, he just is such a cool dude. But the second photograph of Billy the Kid, and it's sold for like $3 or $4 million.
No way.
Right?
What?
These are metallic, because at the time the way they took photographs is the photograph was applied onto a tin kind of material. Okay,
Right.
and it's of Billy the Kid playing croquet. Right? And he's got the coolest fucking cardigan on I have ever seen. So he's standing with his croquet mallet. Okay. Now it's actually a big photograph with a lot of people in it, but they've got good resolution. They're able to zoom in right on Billy the Kid, and he's standing there. We'll bring all these up, obviously, so you guys can see.
I think Billy the Kid. I do not think playing croquet.
Well, here's the thing: when you weren't,
shouldn't people
rustling or murdering people, a nice way to relax on a Sunday afternoon is get your best cardio on and go and play a bit of croquet. It's awesome.
So what is the new one special then?
The new one is very special because if it turns out that it is Billy the Kid, it's an image of a handful of guys. I think it's like four men in it. Okay, Billy the Kid is in the back, a very young looking Billy the Kid. What makes this photograph special is one of the other characters in the picture.
Don't you say Jesse James?
No, is P.A.C.K. Garrett.
Oh my word!
Now P.A.C.K. Garrett is the guy that ultimately ended up killing Billy the Kid.
That's
right?
Crazy.
But Billy the Kid and P.A.C.K. Garrett were friends before P.A.C.K. Garrett became a sheriff. Became a lawman, and then it was ultimately P.A.C.K. Garrett that tracked down Billy the Kid and shot him. So Billy the Kid had escaped, a daring escape from jail. He was in jail. He was going to be hung, and he managed to slip out of his handcuffs, grab one of the deputy's guns, killed the deputy, then managed to break back into the jailhouse or the courthouse or wherever it was they were keeping him. Got himself an arsenal of weapons, and then proceeded on to a shootout where he shot at least another 1 or 2 deputies, and then went on the run. And then P.A.C.K. Garrett tracked him down to a house. P.A.C.K. Garrett and one of his deputies were at this house, questioning one of the owners of the house of where Billy the Kid was, because they suspected he was there. And Billy the Kid came riding up, and then challenged the guy at the front door. I don't know whether he killed him or shot him or whatever. But then Billy the Kid went into the house where P.A.C.K. Garrett turned round and shot him straight through the heart. Shot him twice. Once through the heart, killed him instantly.
Wow.
Now, some people thought that later on that Billy the Kid didn't actually get killed, and that P.A.C.K. Garrett had maybe helped Billy the Kid fake his own death. But the chances are that Billy the Kid actually did get killed. He's a very interesting outlaw. Now, I don't know an awful lot about him, but from what I can gather, he wasn't involved in bank robberies and things like that. So he wasn't like Jesse James and these guys that actually did rob banks and heists and stuff. Billy the Kid was a bit of a stone cold killer, and he made his reputation by being a bit of a killer. And he was involved in a 5-day shootout.
How do you have bullets enough for a 5-day shootout?
There was a shootout that went on for 5 days. Billy the Kid, he became part of a group called with the Retributioners or something like that. There, what had happened? They were working for a businessman. I think it was an Irish businessman. And there was a bit of a conflict between this businessman and another businessman who had a bit of a monopoly. So there was that kind of a bit of a conflict. The guy with the monopoly ended up bribing the sheriff, and the sheriff assassinated the businessman who'd employed Billy the Kid. Now, at that point, right, you would start to think, and I could be completely wrong here, but at that point you'd start to think, if Billy the Kid and the other guys were just mercenary, they would just look for their next paying job. But no, they got together and decided to weed out retribution.
Get vengeance,
So they then ended up, Billy the Kid, I believe, assassinated the sheriff that had killed the guy.
Wow.
And then the two groups ended up in the middle of a 5-day shootout At which point, when it was over, they did a kind of a loose truce and peace thing among them. But like it was mad times. But that cardigan, man. That cardigan, I'm looking at that cardigan going, that is a fine fucking cardigan, Billy the Kid. But he's just a young guy, Yeah. He was born in New York, they think. He lost his father, and then his mother moved him out into the Wild West. She unfortunately died about 3 years later, when he was 14, and then he was then kind of shuttled about from foster home to foster home, fell in with a bad crowd. His first conviction was for helping to steal clothes from a Chinese laundry, and it was he didn't do any time for it. I think he managed to escape, but within 3 years, by I think it was 1884, he lost his mum. By 1874, he lost his mum. By 1877, he'd killed his first man, and then he's maybe responsible for something like 20-something odd deaths. After that, and he was known. He became known as a real killer, like not bloodthirsty. Apparently, he was a really easiggoing guy. But
he plays croquet and cardigans.
Apparently, a really easy-going guy, but just knew how to handle himself.
Yeah. So whenever the money was up, it was just like, right, game on.
Let me give you the perfect story. This is the Billy the Kid story that just makes me go, dude, I can see why you were able to stand in that photograph looking like the coolest guy on the planet with his gun and looking like I'm the shit. He was in a saloon, and there was a drunk in the saloon who was causing hassle, winding people up and shouting about how he was going to kill somebody by the end of the night, right? And Billy spotted him and knew this guy is an arsehole, right? So at some point earlier in the night, Billy bumped into him and lifted the guy's revolver and went, "Hey, that's a nice 6-shooter you've got," and spun the barrel, but spun the barrel in such a way that his next shot was going to be an empty
casing with no bullet.
Well, no, just an empty.
Yeah.
His next shot was going to be empty. There was no bullet in it. So he spun it in such a way and said, "Hey, that's a nice 6-shooter you got there," and gave it back to the drunk, and the drunk put it in. By the end of the night, the drunk was going mad and shouting all this shit, and Billy went to walk out of the bar, and the drunk turned around and fired the gun at him, and it just went click, and Billy turned around and just bang, straight in the head. Dude.
Sneaky.
Dude. You're talking like, no, that is, how do you plan for that?
He probably lived with people knowing who he was from posters, and just he knew. But this guy's a potential threat to me later.
But it was the way that he dealt with it. Yeah. Do you know? It was the foresight.
Cool and calm.
It was the foresight and the fact that who's to say you've just lifted a drunk guy's weapon. Yeah. To know to go right. That guy's going to fire a gun. It wasn't a case of that guy might fire a gun. Yeah. That guy is going to fire a gun. Yeah. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go up and I'm going to have to set that gun up so that the moment he fires it, nothing will happen, and that gives me the split second to take him out. I just sitting going, I would maybe have either left the bar. I would never have had the foresight to go, hey, that's a lovely 6-shooter you got there, and set it up to do that. So Wild West, Texas, great game. Right.
What's next then?
Yeah.
Next up, we've got some stuff from the guys behind Dark Age. This is their set of November releases, which are aptly all about the ice cast of the Dragiri. So this is all good for winter theme things. So they've got the new starter set, which is now available, as well as a whole bunch of other releases as well. Some of my particular favourites out of this are some of the slightly more strange, sort of monstrous side to their force. So we've got the likes of the Hail Coon, which I thought are really awesome, like these smaller ice elementals that are all about just killing people, and they look like they've got this really nice sort of dark edge to them. And there's also the Towering Ice Elemental, which I think we may have seen before in a couple of previews earlier in the year, but this is looking absolutely amazing, and it's now available again in its new box set with all the new cards.
Can I ask, Ben, right? In your expertise, is an ice elemental not actually just a cold water elemental?
Effectively, yes, but an ice elemental is more about using ice and that sort of side of its weaponry. So it'd be more about using sort of sharper pieces of ice or icicles and things, whereas a water elemental is a lot more fluid. So that's where that difference would come in, I suppose you'd say.
Bring up the elemental again, please, Justin. I actually love these because usually when you see elementals in games, they're just, a flame elemental is just like a big ball of flame, and an ice elemental's like it's one of the first times I've seen one look so animated and creature-fied. I'm going to call that the word.
Yes.
Go to the ones above. They look just like something out of Alien almost.
I love these.
They look like they've grown out of the ice, and I love the way that you can see where they start as ice and then slowly change and gain that form of the spine that becomes really creature-like.
I have got to say, even if you weren't a Dark Age player, what D&D player wouldn't want a handful of those? Or a Frostgrave player. Imagine your wizard in Frostgrave bringing these guys out of the ice.
Spells in there you can actually summon familiars and demons. So
because usually elementals are a bit, but not that elementals are fluffy or not. They're not evil looking usually. They're not really. Those look filthy dangerous.
Yes.
Like, they look absolutely vicious. Like, there's something like Terran is to me, or as I say, something out of...
They look easy to paint as well.
Yeah.
Well, this a Geiger-esque. I'm wondering, are the guys going to do the clear resin like they did for the older one of this? They used to do this in a clear blue resin. So, I mean, it was just throw a wash down on it, and it just looked fantastic. So I wonder if we'll see the same.
The paint job on that is absolutely unbelievable. The kind of the streams of color. Oh, we've got Aircast guys as well.
Yeah, so this is a new box that came out for the Dragiri Aircast, and this is one of the really nice ones because it shows off a lot of the difference they've tried to make between the different casts in the Dragiri. So you've got the Firecast, who are very much more sort of all their models are very much animated in the sense of rage. So you've all them got like bellowing and there's fire everywhere, and they're like big huge muscles and weapons raised. Whereas you've got here with the Aircast, you've got them doing a little bit more of like this fluid dancer combat, which I thought was really nice. And it's just amazing seeing them sort of posed in these amazingly elegant ways with their weapons drawn as well. It just looks fantastic, and I think it's a really nice point of difference between a lot of them, so that even if you've got a lot of people that do collect Dragiri, you've got different models there on the tabletop that have a very nice feel and character to them.
So, what's the last image we're seeing here, Ben?
So the last image is actually a potential teaser for a new faction in the game, and this is going to be called the Brute Court of Freeton. So that's going to be their sort of location that they'd hang around with. We've also got some of the concept art for some of the models they're going to be working on as well. So it'd be very interesting to see where they go with this in the future.
That's a concrete block with slabs of spiky...
That is an Uber block.
What's an Uber block?
It's the in-game name for that weapon.
Oh, it's called an Uber block?
In the game, yeah.
And what's it made out of?
From the concrete, nerd.
You love being corrected on stuff you're not wrong on, eh? He does that all the time. He does that all the time. Yeah. That looks like a faction I could fit into. So it's like, I like that. I like that.
So Ben, I don't care about the next piece of news. I don't even care. Ben, I hear I'm being replaced yet again, am I?
Yeah, so Fantasy Flight Games earlier in the year said that they were going to be doing an app for Star Wars Imperial Assault, but we heard very little about it since then. We thought it might be something that would be coming out in 2018, but FFG put out this week a teaser for the app for Star Wars Imperial Assault, which is going to be sort of the way to make the game completely cooperative. It's going to be called Legends of the Alliance. It'll come with a prologue and a tutorial for you to get used to the game. And there's also going to be a 5-mission campaign thrown into the box as well, which is really cool. Now, this was great because a lot of people have picked up Star Wars Imperial Assault and they loved it. It was a great sort of step on from what we saw with Descent. But one of the things a lot of people talked about was the fact that it felt like a game that really didn't need the one versus many mechanic in there, and they really wanted it to be this fully cooperative adventure like they'd done with Descent. So it's just amazing to see that they've been doing this now. You only need the core set to get started with this, which is really cool. And the thing they've done with the app, like they did with Descent, is that if you have additional box sets and additional expansions, you can just tick the boxes when you're in the app, and it will add them into the coming up with the randomly generated enemies that you see during your campaigns, which is really cool. So yeah, fantastic to see life. It's brought a lot of people back into the game, a lot of people picking up for the first time, which is really cool. And obviously with Star Wars being such a big thing towards the end of the year, this kind of makes sense for Fantasy Flight Games to do. So.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Prepare yourself, Az, because you're just going to see more and more of it.
Yeah, it looks really good. And it's going to be really nice that everyone on the table is going to get surprises at the same time. And it's not one person knowing everything and having to make, because freedom of choice and someone making decisions on their own would be.
It's hard to live with control freakery, isn't it, man? Yeah.
No, do you know what? It's great, and I think the game will hugely benefit from it, because I've done a lot of Imperial Assault, did nearly a full campaign where I played as the Imperial player, and usually in Star Wars I would never be Imperial, I would be a rebel. Like I'm a goody two shoes, let's not lie. But I did it because I knew the game best, and I thought I could kind of control the game, look after the game best, and give a nice even challenge. But sometimes I find myself going, I'll just spawn one less stormtrooper when they open the door, or I'll add an extra bit of difficulty in, and then all of a sudden, oops, I killed them, and I feel bad about it, because you have to you have to give challenges, but sometimes more challenge, sometimes less, and that was a bit of a chore, because there's one way to play Imperial Assault as the one versus many is just play it by the book, but I like to kind of tailor it so your group is having a more customized story and slightly different units, and still playing within the rules, but just a little more role play. And that is a little bit more work, and this is going to make playing the game much easier. And I hope more people start painting minis, more people start getting into Imperial Assault, and then more people start playing the competitive skirmish game, because it's actually really, really good. Yeah. It's very good for a grid-based scenario battle system. Anywho.
Who's up next?
Next up, we got some news that came out of Forge World this week, and this was a preview of some additional characters that are going to be made for their character and hero series for Warhammer 40,000. So this is the new heroes for the Red Scorpions. This is Cassan Savius and Syre Caragon, or Caragon? Yeah, that's the name. And they are the sort of de facto now chapter masters of the Red Scorpions, which is pretty cool at present. And also the regents of the Orden Rift. I'm sure people that know their Warhammer 40,000 lore will know exactly what I mean by that. I know nothing about it, but there you go. And so this is a really cool sort of new pair of characters they've been doing, and it's sort of really interesting to see them delving into the sort of smaller characters within the world of Warhammer 40,000. Obviously, they do a lot of Primarchs, but it's really nice to see them looking at some of the smaller characters that maybe potentially are the sort of impetus for you to start creating your own chapters and starting something new in the game, which is really cool. Because obviously they do all the chapter upgrades as well for the Red Scorpions. So if you like these characters and you feel like you want to try and build yourself a force based around them, this may be one of those sort of things that sort of spurs you on to do it into the new year potentially. So.
Now I have a Minotaur's army here, and I'm absolutely looking at these going, they'd be nice. I love the spear. The spear is just so deadly looking, isn't it? It has a real Spartan-esque kind of a feel to it.
I actually love the grubbiness of the paint job they've done. See if you skip on a picture or two there, Justin, if you're lucky enough to find it. The work they've put on the back of it.
Forge World always do a grubbier paint job. Forge World always do a grubbier paint job.
I prefer that. I think that looks gorgeous the way they've made, especially in the bottom of the cape. Yeah, those are great.
It looks really well. Yeah. There's more news from Games Workshop, because there's army deals and chapter approved on the way. Ben, what do we know about it?
Yeah, so the first big thing obviously is these army deals that are coming out, and they're going to be done in the run up to Christmas. This is your way for you to kind of pick up a new army if you're getting stuck into Warhammer 40,000 or Age of Sigmar. They've done box sets for the Stormcast Eternals, focused more around the Vanguard Hunters. So these are the scouts, effectively, of the Stormcast. There's also the Kradron Overlords. So if you're a big fan of the Duardin and you want to do something with their sort of steampunk magical side of the dwarves, you can pick those guys up.
Airships, man. They're so cool.
Yeah.
I love
they are very awesome.
Yeah, the ones with the dwarves on their own with just the little balloon backpacks are just badass. They just make me so happy.
Yeah. There's also Grand Alliance Death Set, which is actually one of the really nice box sets they put together because it brings things back towards the skeletal feel of the undead in the world of Age of Sigmar. We've seen a lot of start collecting stuff from these guys, which was a lot more focused around the spirits. So it's really nice to see them doing something which is more about sort of the bone and the sort of rusted armor that everybody really liked about the undead.
Yeah.
And there's also a new set that is focused around the Zentian Arcanites.
Ooh.
So if you really like these guys and they're focused on magic and they're demons, you can go pick one of those up for Age of Sigmar and do sort of like an interesting demonic force at the same time. So yeah. This then leads on to some of their 40k stuff as well. So we've got the Tau Empire. So if you really like, you're picking up a Tau box, which is decidedly more focused towards battle suits, then you can go to do something like that. The cool thing about that is that with the new way that Warhammer 40,000 works, there's really good options for you to do proper elite forces on the tabletop. So you can sort of eschew troops and go more towards the sort of cool Gundam stuff for the town, which is really awesome. Yeah. There's also the Orcs, which have got themselves a little bit of a speed freak style force, which is really cool. And then there's also some of the newer factions as well. So you've got the Gene Stealer Cult getting thrown into the mix, which is awesome. Wow. A lot of people looking at these guys as a new army. And then there's the Astra Militarum as well. So if you like the idea of playing with big loads of tanks and loads of troops as well, you can do something here. I thought it'd be really cool to maybe approach this from the sort of side of maybe two of you pick up an army each, and you sort of go up through the points cost. So maybe you start with like a smaller sort of power force, then you work your way up through, and then you slowly work together through the box with another person and sort of see how it all comes together and play a little bit of a campaign around it, which I thought would be really cool.
I think those look really great, actually. I like a lot what they've done to kind of group those together, and I wonder if they are all roughly the same power in terms of the rules. I wonder if they would be balanced picking up too. Did they mention that at all, Ben?
Well, they actually come with sort of obviously in Age of Sigmar it's called Battle Scrolls, but I can't remember what it's called. I think it's like data sheets in 40,000. Yep. So it comes with an actual rules sheet. So you've got all the rules for the different models that you get inside the box, and it also comes with special rules for you to use them as a force on the tabletop, which is really cool.
That is really nice. I like that a lot. And then so there's something else in the news about what they're doing for the armies that haven't had codexes yet. Isn't that right? About the stuff,
so there will be stuff in the future which is coming up, which is really cool, but the chapter approved book brings together some really interesting rules in terms of what you want to do sort of in match play and all the other kind of ways you can play 40k. So the chapter approved book will be coming out every year, so there'll be a new edition in 2018, but it will come with updated rules and sort of tweaks and twists here and there for when you're playing your games which have, like, the proper points costs on the tabletop. But there's also going to be some fun stuff in there, so there's going to be lots of different scenarios for you to play if you wanted to play a little bit more of an open game. There's also going to be rules in there that are a little bit more customized. So one of the things they talked about was there going to be rules for custom land raiders. So if you want to do something with that, you can sort of pick those up and give those a go. There's also going to be the rules for Apocalypse in there, which is one of the big things that people missed out of the original codex that came out for 8th edition. So if you really like the idea of playing huge games and you want to play with the Apocalypse rules, they're going to be including those in chapter approved as well. So it's another avenue you could get stuck into if you want to play your games of 40k.
Does chapter improved have all the stat lines for all of the armies in it, or
no?
No. Okay.
The one thing it should do, though, I think I might be wrong in this, Ben, you maybe keep me right, is that it should give all the armies an option for things like warlord traits, I believe.
Yes.
Because one of the big issues we have is all the armies that have come out so far, and the ones Blood Angels and Dark Angels before the end of the year, they're going to have traits that they can use that are just straight up slightly better than the ones in the core rulebook that the armies without codexes have been using. So to bring this out, pre-Adepticon and before they get into the trouble of having big tournaments without that, this will balance it and level the playing field for match play. Yeah. So I'm really behind this, actually, and I like that they've incorporated Apocalypse into this stuff, because they could have just done this as a match play focused thing. So to do it a bit more widespread, I'm pretty happy with it.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, it going really has, as well as these warlord traits, it's got sort of theme stuff in there as well. So if you particularly like a certain way of playing orcs, it might have certain ways for you to twist the way you play them on the tabletop and play them in a different way, which I thought was really cool. So yeah, it's good stuff.
And there's another little tidbit actually of social 40k news, isn't there, Ben?
Yeah, so anybody who knows the YouTubers, the Ogscast, so Lewis Brindley and Simon Lane, they also have an extended crew of people that do a whole bunch of different videos, but one of the big things that brings them together in a different way is they also like a lot of tabletop stuff as well. And they've actually been playing some games of 40k and also painting and sort of playing around with their models as well. So if you want to go and check out the stuff we posted about these guys, they actually done a couple of different hobby videos where they talk about their armies. Most of them are based on the start collecting sets that you get, and they've been painting away and showing off what they've been doing. But they've also started a battle report series as well. well. So there's an introductory battle between Duncan, Lewis, and Ben over there. So you can go and watch that, give it a look. You know, maybe share some comments from us guys over here at Beasts of War. Say hello. It's awesome to see you guys playing the game and stuff as well. So it'd be nice to see where this goes in the future with these guys, because it'd be good to see more people playing 40K and getting stuck into it with the, you know, the new edition of the rules. So yeah.
I think it is just really nice to say I'm a gamer and I like games in all forms. I like role-playing board, I like miniature, I like digital games, be it phone, be it PC, be it console. Like, I like that the Yogscast guys have given that a wee whirl, because I know they've done a little bit of board game and stuff recently.
I think we have to hook the Yogscast guys up with a gaming table, though.
Well, I say we. Monsieur Ben has already shooted out a few little feelers.
Reach out to the chaps and tell them, you know, we want to help them out with a gaming table, because it's clearly they need a little bit of Beasts of War in their lives on that one. You know, so it's.
Do we do anything by half? So we don't do little bit. We do big bit.
I think we can help the guys out on that one.
They'll get the whole beast.
Yeah. All I want is a chance to play them as well, so as I can unleash my nids upon the table. So I will just slap my nids down on the table and say, "Look at that, boys."
Why do I get the feeling that the dueling glove just came out there?
Oh my word, Warren! Wow.
So yeah. I love the Yogscast guys. I've loved their stuff for a long time.
If you're watching this on YouTube or on Beast of War, head across the Yogscast on YouTube.
Yeah.
Drop a comment on that video and say Warren's the nids are coming.
Yeah, the nids are coming, and we're going to give them a gaming table so that when they're doing their 40K, they can do it in style.
Oh, man. We'll get them in and teach them how to airbrush. We'll build a Yogscast table with them.
Absolutely. We'll do something. We'll do something. Happy to do something custom for them as well. Could be kind of cool. Yeah.
And suddenly, John's work hours just went up.
Yes.
Give John a week off and say, Yogscast guys, you have free run of his studio.
Yeah,
he wouldn't like that. He would come back in.
I wonder where everything is.
Okay, well, that wraps us up for news.
Yep.
We're going to actually cut into something really awesome right now. Mm-hmm. So, as you guys all know, we spoke about it a bit earlier, actually, about Core Space going through Kickstarter. Justin, you actually sat down with Colin to chat a little bit more about it. So now it's been funded. So what's involved there?
Basically, I wanted to get a quick sit-down chat with Colin to actually talk about the different places that you can play Core Space, because I mean, like, we know it's all based inside like big space stations and stuff where you're running through doing your missions. But if you want to actually take it and play something a little bit different, I wanted to find out, was that possible? So I'll tell you what, we'll take a quick hub break and we'll be right back.
It's time for 28mm World War II action. Will you recreate history or reshape it your way? On the Bolt Action Hub at beastsofwar.com. High Octane Anime Action is the name of the game in Relic Knights. Mount up in your mecha and battle for glory at our Relic Knights Hub on beastsofwar.com.
Hello everybody, I have been joined by Colin from Battle Systems, and today we are going to be talking about the terrain that comes with Core Space, because Colin, you guys have been very well known in the industry for doing really, really nice modular terrain systems for a long time.
Yep.
I'm really curious to figure out what made you decide to make a game, and basically, does all your terrain work with it? Because I know you guys have quite a few different ranges out there now.
Yeah.
So, first question, why terrain in the box? Why build it like this?
Okay, well, you know, whenever you're painting your models, you're playing a game, especially if you're going to take on a new game, it's all of a sudden you need to grab hold of new terrain and you need to think about that. We didn't want any of that. We wanted you to be able to have a box that you can just, you know, play straight from the box. But unlike anything else, to be able to then build a fully three-dimensional environment for that game, so that, you know, you are absolutely fully immersed within that game, you know, and it's not just hiding behind a table or something like that. We're talking about real walls, doorways, riggings, the whole works. Yeah. So, yeah, we really wanted to make sure that that was something you had right from the start.
Well, looking at the table, seeing all the different, you know, walls and stuff here, it makes the game feel really claustrophobic. So, I mean, if we go to here, you can actually see, right, let's say my ship had docked here, right? Because this is how you start your game. Your ship docks on an outside edge, and you put your door on, right?
Absolutely.
And this is where you enter from, yeah?
Yep.
I mean, like, as soon as I start moving people from my ship, if I can find my crew, suddenly the world starts to actually feel really populated very quickly, even if you only get a couple or 3 miniatures in there.
Yep.
You know, so actually having it all really sectioned off, it doesn't feel like, okay, how many times have you played video games and walked into like a room or something, and it just felt bare and empty and lifeless.
Correct. Yeah.
Like you see, even all the little extra bits that you've got on here, all the little signs and stuff, the little bits of furniture.
Yep.
All of that adds to make it feel like a really filled, lived-in world.
It does. Yeah, it's so important for us to have not just the structures, but all of the what we call scatter items, which really populate the rooms, so that you've got beds and you've got cargo and but you've also got the sign. There's down the street you've got the signs, the neon, and you've even got like little iPads and things like sitting on desks. You've got shop counters and tables, chairs, reactor, ground conduits, but all the struts and everything as well. All these little 3D elements, lockers. That clip to the walls that just it just takes you straight into the game, so that you can focus on the game and the characters, and is utterly practical when you're playing.
Yeah, well, it's one thing. Gamers these days are kind of spoilt whenever it comes to actually having stuff like that. So building it into your game from the get-go, I think, is a great idea.
Sure.
But let's say I wanted to take this to another location within the world.
Okay. So
how many sci-fi ranges do you have at the minute that we could put this in?
This works perfectly with all of our ranges, to be fair. So from the sci-fi point of view, we've obviously got this very cyberpunk one that's going to come with the game, but we've already got the Frontier set, which is a massively very similar to this massively run-down universe, just like the galaxy of the game. We've also then got the Galactic set as well, which will this is the this is the shiny, bright center of the galaxy, and so everything's nice and clean. We've got the Outland set, so it doesn't have to be just internal scenery like this. You can have buildings on sort of like wasteland mats, and of course battle systems. You can go inside every single building. You can go in every single room.
Yeah.
Even this itself, we don't you don't have to build it like I've built it. Every time you put this game together, for every different mission, of which we're going to give you plenty to get you started, you can take this apart and create a completely new scenario. So it keeps every game fresh. There's always a new corner to explore, a new area, and because it's three-dimensional, often you can trap your enemy in game, because you'll move a character, and from where they're sitting or moving around, they forget they're there, and so you really can ambush yourself.
Well, I suppose if I had Ariana hiding behind this wall, and you had someone say, this guy was coming through, oh, I forgot she's there, I'll walk through here. Oh, wait, dun dun dun.
Absolutely, and if I'm sitting here, I can't see that, and then when it's your turn, you're going to go, right, I'm going to shoot your guy. I'm like, what from who? So it does, it really does, and, I mean, I've designed this game, and I get caught out on it, so it really just adds a whole new dimension to the gameplay.
Yeah, one thing I'm looking forward to exploring is building some of the more clean galactic ones. I remember whenever you brought the galactic stuff to Kickstarter, I looked at it and I was just thinking, how cool would this be if this was basically a raid, on like a government building or something?
Sure, absolutely.
You've been hired by some shadowy council to actually go in and get some shadowy plans. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it does, and of course, all the games are driven by the narrative of the story and the universe anyway, but to be able to have, you really can do that. You can have this lovely shiny galactic setting, and you can have your traders go in there to pick up some data that they've got to download from their mission objective right here, and at the same time they've got to avoid the Galactic Corp and the the real shiny guys who are out to get you. And I'm sure you'll be doing quite well until the purge enter, and decide that it's time for them to make a sweep.
I don't know. I've now just got visions of breaking into a hospital to get some very needed files. If you get the reference.
Well, we have got obviously, from all our different expansions. From it's not just the Frontier. We have got we've got the medical center, and we've got everything. All the locations that you want for any game, any scenario you can think of.
Now, important question. So as it's built at the minute, it's one level. So this is one level of this intergalactic shopping mall that we have here.
Yeah.
Can we build multi-level? Are there rules for that?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the game works mechanically well on any of our terrain. So this level that you've got here in the box, a nice single level. The Frontier and Galactic are not, and it works perfectly because it's based on very, very simple rules like line of sight and the cover, and all the mechanics work perfectly with the terrain. When we were designing this game when we were bringing out our new sci-fi range. So everything you got here is fully compatible backwards. So you could have Frontier set up that then you can connect this and blend it into this kind of. You could have a much larger table. You could have a 4x4. You could have a 4x6, and you could almost play your campaigns from section to section or across one big board. So it's
how many
unlimited.
players does it support?
Okay, well we say 1 to 6 players.
Okay.
Because we have to put a limit on it.
Okay.
But really, if there's enough teams, if your field is better, a bit big enough, there's no reason why you can't just have as many players as you can field on there. If you've got a few sets of this, you can have as many teams as you want, and you can have a free for all. Well, one of the things we did, which was quite good on one of our beta tests, was we had 6 players around the table, but only 2 teams. So what we did, we let each character. Each person take just one character, and that was them. And we designated a team captain, and it was a good dynamic because the captain was kind of like, look, I need you to go in there and do this, and because it was that one character, they were like, well, hang on a minute, that looks quite dangerous over there, So there was this real dynamic between the team, and they had discussions. They said, look, I need you to do it, and it's like, well, okay, I'm going to take one for the team, and Do
I get hazard pay for this?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. So you can play it. It's basically got all the traits and the abilities of a real role playing game. Leveling up your character, picking their career, getting attached to that character, while at the same time, the choices that you make on your leveling up between games, when you're trading between games, or your equipment and your weapons and repairing your ship, those choices, when you get back in, all the thought you put into developing your character then goes into the game. When you play the game, you don't have to worry about it. The choices are there, and the game plays incredibly fast. So you get a fast tabletop skirmish game, but a nice backstory and a nice development in between.
Nice. My mind is just bubbling away now, because you've just said you had to put a cap on it at 6, but no, I'm imagining like taking one of our long tables out in the office there, doing end to end, like 16-foot gaming table, and just having people battling and skirmishing all the way through it.
I've got the terrain for it, we could make it happen. It's you could literally do it. You could work almost from one section to another. You could go from Galactic to Frontier. You could halfway through. You could then have a building end. You can go out onto our Outland set, which is all the outside kind of stuff, and that's a real different dynamic, because you're going to be your weapon choices are going to be different. You're going to want some longer range weapons rather than the short range you've got here, and then finally getting over maybe to your Galactic headquarters with your hospital and retrieving the data and so on.
Oh no, I'm thinking, because if you do stage play across like a long table, you can have like safe houses along the way. Yeah. Whichever team gets to the safe house first gets to level up.
You could absolutely do that. You could have you can have equipment breaks. You could have you can have all of these things that kind of give you options. Like I say, it's not just about rushing in and shooting each other. You've got your objective to think about, but you've got your crew and your ship, and so it's just as important to search.
All right, I want the shinies.
To build up. Yeah, exactly, and keep your guys alive as it is to just an all-out shootout. But sometimes you have to shoot.
Interesting ideas, Colin. Thank you, mate.
No worries.
Tell you what, everybody out there. From the sound of it, this is going to be an incredible sandbox game that you're just going to be able to have a fantastic toolbox of toys to play with to actually build some very, very cool stories. Get your comments in below. What types of stories do you want to tell with this game? What types of tables do you want to build? How big do you want to build them? Myself and Colin will move on here, and we'll see you again later.
Hi, I'm Gemma from Battlefoam, and you're watching The Weekender on beastsofwar.com.
One of the comments actually in one of the first videos we put out about Core Space, like, I can't remember who it was. You and I both replied to it. It was talking about playing Core Space where you play with like 6 people, but each person controls one member of the crew.
They did that at their beta day.
Like that just to me sounded epic. I love the idea of roaming a space station and maybe potentially having your own little objective that you had to do personally rather than the whole crew together. Just sounds great fun. The gameplay videos of you guys have been outstanding too.
I really enjoyed the game. I love it. The feel of it is very RPG on top of being a board game, because I feel like I'm playing a character. So I mean, like if I could get a GM to play with this on top of that to tell a bit of a story as the 2 teams work through, that would be amazing.
Yeah. it has a lot of scope, doesn't it?
Yeah. You hear legacy system, you hear narratively driven, kind of thrown out now and again, but there's a real investment to core space in your crew and your ship, and whether you leave on your ship or you leave on your opponent's ship and you take his ship and scatter off, and like this.
I kind of had to hit you right in one of the games.
But it has that everybody can be Han Solo kind of a thing, doesn't it? I love the idea of creating my own ship, creating my own crew, and then just living out the life of what that is. It's Han Solo meets Firefly meets I don't know, man.
You do have that risk of you might be working on a crew member for maybe 3 or 4 missions, and then you have to leave them behind. You just don't have time to get.
That's the investment. That's it.
That is it. It is very, very cool what they've done.
So end of the show. Again, talking about battle systems, we'll be telling you how you can win some of that Galactica terrain.
Yeah, that Galactica.
We've got a lovely wee idea for you guys to get involved in. But before that, it's Saturday morning. I'm going to hurt myself here. Something's arrived with us, and it may well have arrived with some of you.
Necromunda.
Necromunda on the Hive is here. Now, if you haven't ordered this or pre-ordered this and it's not arriving with you, we're going to have a quick nosy inside. I'm going to get this is a heavy and it's a big box. So we'll show you guys what's inside. Let's open this up. Okay.
Oh, there you go, Warren.
Here we go.
Now, one of the cool things is, if you look at the edge of the box in here, you can actually see this actually becomes part of your terrain.
We will make that part of the terrain momentarily. Let's so do you know what, I'm going to take some of these out. So here we've got sprues. I'll let you can pick a couple of out. Justin. So here we've got our templates. So this is going to be your flamer, small blast, big blast, Justin.
Yes. And that's probably more likely a cam weapon.
Spray.
So you get 4 sprues of miniatures in the box. They are duplicates.
Okay.
So you only need to look at 2 of these to know what's on them. So if you'll have a quick look.
Yeah, I'll keep going through the box first. I'll keep grabbing out what. So what we've got here is these are your terrain pieces
and walls.
So it's important to know. I believe in this box you will only be playing with a flat playing surface. But with the barricades to break it up and change your cover and completely customize how that's going to work. So there isn't any 3D lifting elements, but the way the board is made, even though it looks grid, it's completely free movement. I must admit, I got quite confused by that when I initially saw the board, because it looks like it's broken up into squares, but it's just the design of the particular board they've gone with. It is free movement on how you use this terrain, and it's actually, that's nice.
Actually, what I like most here is you've got a lot of ammo boxes and stuff here. Which
hold on. Right, okay, I'll keep going through. I'll show you guys all closely what this is looking like. So here we've got, this is your instructions for building. This is pretty much
very
standard.
Simple.
Nice double-sided.
Makes it very simple to put together.
Put that, jump out of the way. So then we've got our quick rules, this looks like. So easy peasy there. Then we've got the actual rulebook itself proper. Oh, she's a chunky one, isn't she? Wow, look at the art in that, actually. I do. That's nice. This is your basic rules section. Look at those. I like these. Try and get that so it's not shiny.
I believe that's Clan Asher.
I'm a big fan of the kind of pencil, kind of stylized art pieces in this. I like that they've gone with the black and white and not very bold.
It's not retro.
Yeah, not 100% sure on how easy the text is going to be to read.
I have issues with that.
Yeah, it looks like the entire book is.
I'm just gonna come out and say it, and this applies to all games companies. Please don't do that, because I've been trying to look through it. I was having a look through the Gangmore supplement.
It's hard to read,
and I get a headache. No, it might just be me, but I find it really, really difficult to read thin black text.
Grab that one in there. It looks like even that one's maybe a stage.
They're all the same.
A stage darker.
It's really difficult to read the thin black text on the textured background. You know, it's it's just something. Maybe I'm getting old. Maybe the old eyes just aren't working ananymore. But I was getting a headache. I was getting queasy.
Even I'm having bother with that.
It's just something I wish. You know, I know that there's this desire within the industry to theme up the books. But ultimately, a book has to work as a book as well, guys.
They've done it well with the art, with the rusted sections, and with the kind of I like how they've done the sides of the books. Usually in the GW books, you have these side panels where you have important and easily overlooked rules. And I like how they've detailed and done those. But I'm with you on the text actually.
Everybody comes on scenic bases.
Yeah, well, I'll get those on the close cam in a second, so I'll get a few of those out.
You then have the main unit cards.
Now we obviously got the world first exclusive play of this.
We did,
at
yeah.
Essen.
Well, he did.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So let me grab a few of these out. So if you want to see fully painted minis, you can check out that video. Ben, if you wouldn't mind, you can pop a link for us. Here, go on, Warren, rip that open with me. Go on.
Open the boards,
no, do you know what? This is going to be really geeky, but I love a game that comes with baggies. I love it. We've also got. I love the ruler. Actually, this is something I noticed when you were playing at Essen. Just very simple, very clean. I like a bendable, simple 1-inch wide ruler, and this is important for the game because this is going to
determines whether you have soft or hard cover.
Yeah.
So if one edge of that goes through a piece of terrain whenever you're drawing the line from your miniature to your opponent, they have soft cover. If both go through a bit of terrain, it's then hard cover.
Yeah, and that's how they use windows and such, because you can still shoot people through a window or through a shoulder high gap, but because the ruler's going through both, they're getting heavy cover.
Yeah. Now you have these, which are all your stat cards, which are nicely laid out, reasonably easy to read this time, I think, Warren.
And so here's a question.
Well, a little bit easier. Yeah.
So you were talking about the box, Justin. So this is the box now empty.
The box.
This becomes part of the actual map for one of your scenarios.
Right, let me hold that up for folk.
Yeah.
So
that becomes essentially a room that you can go into and fight in.
Oh, so you go into... That's a nice idea.
Oh, yeah, because on this side you actually have like a blacked out door.
That's a very nice idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
And they've been doing that with quite a few of their products.
If you're going to show off some of the things, can we start with the boards, As? Because the boards, from a materials perspective, are excellent. Absolutely excellent. And getting to see the designs up close, I'll let you show some of them off.
Yeah.
The designs themselves are very, very good. The texturing is lovely.
Isn't it?
Yeah. I just like, there's a really nice weight to the boards. There's a nice finish to the boards as well. That is a really nice piece of design right there, I've got to say.
There is one thing for everybody to remember. You see these blacked out areas?
Yes.
Those are actually walls that go up to essentially infinity. You can't see through those.
Okay.
So when you're playing through your game, you can actually build the components to actually make that, but just for simplicity's sake, that's how they've done it.
Yeah, and that's, to me, I think they've done it as well as you possibly could. My eyes still look at that and think it's a pit, like you're falling down through there, but that's, I think, trying to get that in my head, exactly as you said, Justin, that actually... It's just representing not only impassable, but sort of...
I would probably do as Justin has suggested there and get some foam and actually make concrete walls that are of that shape and just pop them down.
At the minute, myself and John are having a bit of a play about with EVA foam. So you know the stuff that yoga mats are made out of?
Yes.
You could very easily get some tracing paper, trace out that shape, mark that onto your EVA foam and just put it down, and it would just give it that 2.5D that you want.
This 2.5D, that's a great expression. I like that.
It's one of Warren's.
I'm sure Paper Mario stole it from you first, but all right.
The other thing is, if you do work with something like the EVA foam, because EVA foam, remember, is about a centimeter thick, it's about a half-inch at the most. If you cut out multiples of it and layer it,
it actually just build it up.
Well, what that will then look like is it will look like
cast concrete wall.
Cast concrete that has been poured in stages. The way they used to make bunkers. So bunkers were actually poured in stages, or they would set up boards and create a wooden form of which concrete would be poured in, and then when you took away the boards, you saw the lines of the boards,
and even the grain of the wood.
So that would give you that kind of poured concrete kind of a look.
Yeah. So I mean, it's very simple to homebrew some extra terrain if you want to actually have that 3D feel of old Necromunda.
Yeah.
This is nice. There's the board gamer and me coming out. Some lovely tokens. Get them up a little bit. They're just your on fire, knocked down, wounded. Activated. Yeah, I mean.
And the die cutting on these actual pieces looks to be pretty clean.
Do you know what?
And pretty centered. So.
That's. Oh my word, that came off lovely. Actually, that sounds so silly to me, but a lot of games, I see guys that just go pop, 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 and I'm saying, no, you're gonna tear it, and then that's actually that's beautiful.
Because it's one of the things you can't ignore it, because there's been so many board games where the actual print has been offset, which means that once the die goes into place, all of your tokens are all offset as well, and that's a really nasty thing whenever you've got everything looking so well, and then suddenly half of your token art is kind of hanging off the end of your token. So
they nailed that.
Yeah, it's important in print to get that right. The scenic bases are great.
Yeah, let's have a look at these. So, bring them in a little bit better.
You know, they're full-on hard plastic scenic bases. I would love to see Workshop do a lot more of this kind of thing, where they sell, you know, big baggies of scenic.
They actually already do a range with them that they came out with for 40K and Age of Sigmar in a range of different sizes. I think it was towards the end of last year. But it'd be nice to see them do a lot more of them in different environments, as you say. That'd be cool. So.
Yeah, and Justin, you made a really good point of saying just how cool and some of the sprues, some of these little ammo boxes are.
So you've got lots of little shells and stuff, and if you go to the ones on the other side of the sprue, you can see the weapon containers.
Oh, I see.
Here,
I see. Turn it around. Okay.
So you've got like auto guns and shotguns in there, which just look. Really
and because the weapon you're using, these we half broken down doors are great. Yeah, even these ones which have been shot through or rusted away is fantastic. You're going to see real masters of rust painting with Necromunda, aren't you? You're going to see people who know all. Like I was learning so much from Jerry and Lloyd last week on Backstage last Sunday, and learning how much about how to highlight golds with silver and how to make your rusts with greens and metallic oils and stuff. And I was like, this would be a real good way to test out all those techniques. I think it's also good for the game because all these rules about your weapons and about your ammo are incredibly important. Let me say some of the bigger pieces. So you have to roll your ammo dice. You have to make sure you're keeping track of what you have for each of your weapons. These are okay. These are your wall sections. These are
it's plastic bulkheads.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The only problem is you don't have enough of them.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at them, you immediately just desire more of them.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if sprue packs like that come up as a separate purchase option where you could buy more bulkheads.
They are actually doing that as well.
Oh, there we go. Then that's it. Yeah. So,
okay, GW. All right.
You can buy scenery packs that will allow you to build up more stuff, and you can also pick up scenery packs that were based on their old. I can't remember what the name of the game was, but they did sort of like a skirmish version of Warhammer 40,000. The name escapes me. But you can pick that. You can pick their terrain sets up as well if you wanted to as well.
Yeah.
So,
So this is the thing. They have the whole Cities of Death range for you to work with if you want to build some.
Yes.
And the new Mechanica stuff.
Shadow War Armageddon is the game that I was thinking of. That's the terrain sets you can pick up. So.
And so these are your dice. Justin's just preparing for me here. I actually really like them. I like a bit of black and yellow.
Yeah, so the ones on the left-hand side of the screen there are the scary dice, because they tell you what happens to you after you get knocked down, you've lost your wounds.
Yeah.
The ones on the right of the screen are telling you whether you've hit or not. And you then obviously have your scatter dice and your ammo dice.
Okay.
So you throw something, maybe a grenade or something that's going to scatter. If you fire something that's going to do multiple shots, you have to find out how many shots it's doing, which is what the other dice is for.
So how many? So literally 1, 2, 3? Like,
pretty much. And if you put it a little further in the shot for me. And then there's one more symbol on there, which I think actually jams the gun. So there should be one different one in there. Yes.
Is that it there?
Yes. So I think that one, if I remember right, means you've jammed.
Yeah.
So it's really simple to play once you're actually up and running.
Those are nice. Do you know what? Quick.
So, but for anybody who's got their box set this morning and they want to learn how to play the game, we have a video how to play.
Yeah.
So we'll get that linked in.
I haven't shown the actual minis up here. Let me grab.
Let's have a look at the minis.
Okay, here we go. So now these are all, as GW tend to do these days, these are all numbered. I'm not sure if you would see right in close here. Let me see. So all the you can see all the little numbers actually.
Yeah.
So what are we thinking? Like, let me put this is a better angle. Look at this. So that's your body. Let me find this gap. But almost what's the bad guy from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Krang.
Yeah.
It looks like he should be in there. Because that's for the plate. That's for their bit of metal armor that goes across the front.
So this is all designed to be easy build, single post stuff. You're not going to have the modular system so much in this, I don't think.
Yeah.
But there should be a lot of weapons options.
There are.
Here.
There really are actually. Yeah.
Because that's one of the things people loved about Necromunda was the fact that they could build their gang, arm them the way they want it, and level them up. So again, that legacy system that we're seeing so much of.
Yeah.
Which is actually why Games Workshop included these, which are blank character cards.
Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite touches. I think by giving the chat we've done, you get you get as many blank character cards as you do actual official. Let me bring one of these in. So here we go. So here's what a character card looks like with how many credits it costs to field them, their movement, weapon skill, ballistic skill, all their usual stats you'd expect, and their weapons and any special skills, war gear that they might have. So I am a huge fan of the Legacy, and the fact that they've included as many blank as actual characters written is a really lovely touch for me.
Yeah, and there's one thing that I haven't had a chance to look at in game yet, which is the tactics cards.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what these do to change up the game. But I mean, like this is what I was saying. These ones they're a little easier to read.
Yeah, so there's a bit of variation. I'll grab a couple here because I think I'm with you again, Warren. I'm not too sure. So this one's not too bad because it's just stealthy advance. It's just at the top of this card. Play this card after both gangs have set up the start of the battle before the first round begins. Up to half of the fighters in your crew running up can immediately make a standing move. So that's kind of cool. So that's kind of thematic. But then you get to ones like this, which are a little bit more. They kind of go down a bit more into the watermarking behind it, and it gets a little bit more tricky.
Yeah, fair enough.
But the thing is, it's a design choice.
Yeah.
It's something that's selected at the design stage. I just, in this occasion, just find it a bit headachy to look at.
No,
in terms of the miniatures themselves, the miniatures are quite extraordinary.
Yeah,
the amount that is on the actual sprues is incredible. There's nobody is packing more onto sprues these days in Games Workshop. Their sprue design is second to none at this particular moment in time. The details on them are exceptional, I've got to say. You know, even down to tiny little tabs on straps.
The whip
things like that.
is just wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly, on the whip, we have a miscast on this one of that very component.
Oh no!
But you can see on there that we actually have a flawed whip, which is a real pity. But the fact that one is perfect and the other is flawed suggests to me that it's probably just a one-off. Really. So.
And the other thing is, you might not arm two characters with that. That might be a leader-specific weapon. It just happens to be doubled up on the sprues.
Yeah. But if you have a look at the torso ones on this one, please, for me, and just I don't know if you guys can see it, but did you see at the legs there, the strappings on the boots? Do you see even the wee tabs just sticking out? Yeah. It's quite incredible the detail that they're getting out of the manufacturing process in their actual injection molding.
You can see it if I turn it right.
Isn't that incredible?
It right in there.
Isn't that absolutely phenomenal?
Yeah.
I just looking at that going, wow, wow. There's no soapiness to these miniatures whatsoever. Not that you would ever expect so, because they just don't have it. But you know, not only are they as crisp as you would expect, but it's those tiny little details that are beyond what we typically see. Yeah. That little thing is very, very good. Even down to the seam. If you have a look at that guy there.
Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get close enough into this one.
See if you can on that guy there. You can even see the seam down the back of his pants.
Yeah. Isn't
that really interesting?
Yeah. But this is the thing we've always come to expect from Games Workshop is technically flawless kits. Yeah. You know, they are masters of the craft. They know exactly what they're up to. So anything less, I would be incredibly disappointed. As it is, this is par for the course for what they do.
But as a product, I'm starting to get a better feel for who this is aimed at. Because obviously, with coming in a box, you immediately start to think, it's starting to pitch Necromunda at the kind of board gamers and stuff like that. No. This is not a board gamers product. By
this is
any
still
stretch of the
specialist.
imagination.
This is not bringing new people in.
No, definitely not. Which is fine because you pick and choose who you're targeting at. But
Shadespire to me is far more new board game, new person friendly.
Yeah, because there's nothing really particularly push fit about this. These miniatures are not going to be particularly easy to put together. There is work involved in this, which is fine because
it's fun work because it's choices.
This is a game you're going to choose, and this is an investment you want to make because you're not just building a board game. You're building your game. This is your gang, and you can take your time and put together your gang the way you want it. And man, have they give you every option you could possibly want to do that. It is for what it is. It's actually pretty damn good. I just pine a little bit for the three-dimensional aspect because I just think it was something about Necromunda itself that made it quite different. And again, I think it was just a design choice. I think they could quite easily have done that, but they opted not to, which is fine.
The question is for them: why would they put it in this box whenever the stuff for that already exists within their range? And you have a supplement there that lets you do it.
The only answer I can have for that, Justin, is just to inspire people to play that way.
Yeah,
I suppose.
That's because there's no real answer for that because there's no right or wrong in any of these things.
Well, it was quite interesting because they did a designers chat with the people that were behind the core box that you see there, which is under Hive as it is.
Yeah.
And one of the things that came out of that was them saying that while it was great for them to be able to bring Necromunda back, they wanted a way for people to immediately start being able to play it almost effectively out of the box. So once you built the models, instead of having to then wait to build a table, you could play in the sort of surroundings of Necromunda, deep down in the Underhive, just playing through the sewer systems instead. So there was a way for them to create that immediacy almost of play very, very quickly with people. So as you say, it's unfortunate maybe that a lot of people won't get their huge masses of terrain in the box, but I think it's a payoff maybe from their point of view to be able to say you can almost start playing Necromunda right away effectively before you've even started painting it.
I find that quite confusing, as. Yeah. I find that quite confusing because the investment in time that it would take to actually put the miniatures together.
I kind of want to do it. I kind of want to
compared to push fit card into plastic. You know, I don't think that the 3-dimensional terrain needed to be a difficult or time-consuming thing to do. Certainly, it didn't need to be any more time-consuming than the actual putting together of the miniatures.
What was the original Necromunda terrain made from?
Card.
Was card?
Card and plastic.
Card and plastic, and you just pushed the card into the plastic, and you had bulkheads that lifted the card up. It was a very simple kind of thing. It did. I will say, you know, it wasn't perfect. You know, looking back at Necromunda, because what it did lack is it lacked form. Okay, and this is something that I think many companies are maybe more aware of now. That whenever you pitch a game, if a game has a shape, something recognizable about it that draws people in, that's a very powerful thing, because it helps in the recognition of the game, and it helps in people getting a real visualization of the game. One of the drawbacks from the original Necromunda is it did actually lack form. So although it was 3-dimensional, it was quite difficult to get a recognizable form that you could basically say, Necromunda. So you know, from that perspective, it had its own challenges. But it's interesting to hear them say, "Oh, we built it this way so as you could get into the game quickly." But I think there's the bottleneck to get into the game quickly, right there.
I don't know, because whenever you're looking at the hobby, and this is a hobby game for me, I love sitting down to build something just as much as I do sitting down to play something.
Yeah.
So I don't see that as a bottleneck to getting into the game. I just see that as another aspect I can enjoy.
But I agree. But
I agree as well, absolutely. But
it doesn't go hand in hand.
But
with
it doesn't go hand in hand with our design objective was to make it that you could get playing this game fast.
Yeah,
I suppose.
That's fine as an objective.
Look at this. Could we at Beasts of War?
Yes.
Could we over here make this box, make this small single sprue into a bit of 3D terrain? What are these? What are these groove sections here? These. At the top. This is the bottom. This is the top.
Yeah.
Here.
Yep.
Again, so similar on this one. So it's the bottom. This is the top. We could slot a bit of cardboard in there. What's that? Can we see what that's used for?
That is actually used for the feet.
I don't think it is used for the feet.
I think so.
No. You can actually. Oh, let me bring this in.
Yeah, so bring that in.
Because trying not to glare anybody at home here. So what I was pointing at. Oh, if I come in, here we go. So this is the base where the feet go. But actually, at the top of each, see this little I'm looking at right there. That little gap looks to me like an inch and a half wide card would just slot right in there.
Yes, and the
are they future proofing this?
Yeah, well, this is the interesting thing about it.
This is an inch wide.
So if you put that on the camera and show that, right?
Oh, yeah.
So the interesting thing about that is it's each of those is reversible. Okay, so if you put that piece of card in there, that slot up there, okay, so to create a gangway.
Yeah, in there, yeah.
Okay, if you flip that over. There you see on the other side, the other side that it could go into. So it does. It is.
Are they future proofing to maybe go down that route with the next box?
Potentially.
Because the terrain they're selling at the minute, Ben, for this, is it the same bulkheads and the same, or is it actually 3D? Does it build up at all?
It's 3D and it's all hard plastic stuff. So and it's either the stuff you get in the box, which is as it is now, or you can pick up some of the old Shadow War stuff, which is a bit more of a sort of play set, effectively, which you can build in whichever way you want.
But they haven't released an official like Necromunda terrain box, have they?
No. Everything that exists so far is, as I say, either based on the box contents as it is, or it's the old stuff. So.
Is that a compatible size with the old Necromunda stuff for the actual slots in that? If you want to put them together,
do we have any?
I doubt it. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces to make one miniature.
Is that one of the more? Or one of the more simple?
The Splitter King. I just went for the one in the middle. Okay. So if you have a look at the Splitter King. So you've got a little bit of building ahead of you. So Splitter King's about there he is.
Sorry,
10 pieces. He's not the one that's the most piece. If you go down 2, there you go.
No. Some of those are options, right? Surely, no.
Well, I would hardly imagine the knees and feet are options. So but
no, that does look like the bare minimum.
It's quite a bit of. It's quite a bit of hobby in it, but again, that's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
But we will see. It's certainly.
Let us know how you're getting on with it.
Smells like Christmas to me.
Yeah, like if you've received a box, let us know how you're.
This would be on my Christmas list.
Yeah.
If I saw one of these under the Christmas tree Christmas morning, I wouldn't be unhappy.
There you go. There you go.
Like, I want to know how you guys at home are getting on. So if you comment on whether it's on YouTube or Beast of War or on Facebook, just let us know, because I'm curious to see how people are finding it, especially if you played the original. With and without the, where do we put Gang War? With and without the supplement, I can't wait to hear what people think of that. Yeah. Yes. So let me show. I just hold it here.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what people think of this compared to the original.
Yeah, so if you want to play in more of the original style, you need that additional supplement to be able to do it.
So you got loads of details. You got 6 scenarios in here as well to kind of deal with different storylines and stuff. I think this is more really about this goes into more detail about weapon attachments and things like campaigns and founding your warband, and this is about the growth of your warband more than anything.
Yeah.
I look forward to it. I want to see what the community say. I'm on the fence about whether to get involved. Maybe I'm tempted to try and build one of these and see how long it takes me just for the S&G.
I got the taste of it at Essen. I want to play more.
There you go. There you go.
Wait for Justin to build it then. Okay.
Really, you're set. I'll take it home this weekend if you want.
All right.
I say we do, and then that gives him some hobby time to talk about.
Well, I've been doing hobby time recently.
We will find out tomorrow, won't we?
So, next, couple of Kickstarters.
Yes.
Okay. A couple little juicy ones, actually. Ben, what's our first Kickstarter?
So first is from the guys at Atlantis Miniatures. Now, we talked about their mythological sort of previews a couple of weeks ago. Now they're on Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter has already bust through its stretch goal fairly significantly. But this is a range of sort of monstrous mythical monsters that you can use in 32mm scale for your skirmish games, for your board games.
Warren definitely missed the previous one.
I hadn't seen it. Look at those werewolves. They're beautiful. Oh my word, these are amazing!
Yeah. The thing that really sort of got me when it came to the werewolves actually was that I actually really like the Wealthy Apocalypse system from World of Darkness, and it'd be really fun to pick up all the different werewolves and then paint them up to match the different characters, and then do some sort of really cool accessory stuff with them. I thought it'd be really cool.
Oh, do you know what? Even the way they have lit that 3D model with that splash,
which is what we want to
like.
It's exactly what we said. Yeah.
I am just, oh my word! I have a thing for werewolves.
Okay.
I absolutely love werewolves. I don't know what. Probably American Werewolf in London.
Okay.
As a kid, did it for me. I just think of all of the mythical beasts. It's just an incredible creature, and that manifestation of it, I think, is absolutely delicious. The Minotaurs actually are very good. I think I prefer the Minotaurs possibly from Zealot that we have seen recently. The Minotaurs in this are lacking just a little touch of the details.
They're a bit more blubberous, a bit less kind of sharp.
But they're still very good.
Wait for it, no wait, keep going.
Oh yes,
Because that's one of the things that they've been focusing on with this is that it's very much based around the idea of Greek mythology. So a lot of the designs and stuff you'll see on these models going forward in all the renders and things are very much based on classical interpretations of these creatures. So that's maybe why we're seeing a little bit more of the sort of blubberous style to the Minotaurs.
Look at that!
Here it comes! Look at this!
Jeepers creepers!
You love
the Sphinx. Yeah.
Look at that! Oh, flippin' hell! That Cyclops is brilliant. Man, dear, these guys have some talent.
First stretch goal. Come on, give it to me. Keep going. These are still add-ons. The first. The hippogriff. Look at that, man. The base, the wings, even the eggs down to the detail protecting its nest behind
hugging the rock.
I know, isn't it?
So primal and powerful, but elegant. That's.
But even if you were into just collecting, like for my kids, Harry Potter type of creatures.
Absolutely. Buckbeak 2.0.
This is it.
If Buckbeak went and got built.
It's the baddest ass Buckbeak you're likely to see. It's like, oh, man.
I also want to say as well, if obviously a lot of people when it comes to Kickstarter, they maybe look at these and they say, well, it's just renders. How do I know what the finished product is going to look like? If you scroll further down their Kickstarter page, they've actually showed off some of the finished miniatures they did for their dwarf Kickstarter. So go and check those out, and you'll see how their sculpting quality comes out when it's finally all done and dusted. So you don't have to worry too much with these guys; they know what they're doing. So
this is a Kickstarter I would be all over.
Yeah.
I have my kids completely monster obsessed now. He's not my youngest anymore. Jack's my youngest, but little Maxie's 3 years old, and Maxie is obsessed with monsters. We've just come out of Halloween, and Manny, he was the middle one. He's now.
Everybody got bumped along.
Yeah, everybody got bumped along, but Manny has now declared that Halloween is now the best time of year ever.
Is it because of candy?
Yes, it was exactly because of that. The most successful trick-or-treating that we have ever experienced. It really was a case of, hand over the candy, old lady! Manny was determined to visit every house. But anyway, we're gearing up to Christmas. I've put the outdoor lights and all up. I even got Andrea to give me a little bit of money to put in some LED strips and stuff like that out into the front garden. So we're sitting on I've got Daddy's chair by the window in a little alcove, and we're sitting there, and I was telling them to tell me Christmas stories, okay? And little Maxie hops up on my knee to start telling me a Christmas story. And he goes, okay, once upon a time, Daddy, there was Christmas. And the ghosts came and got you, and they took you away. Whoa. Slow down, Max.
Have you let him watch Nightmare Before Christmas yet?
Max, no ghosts. Don't tell a story about ghosts. Just tell a story about Santa and presents. Okay. What about zombies? No ghosts and no zombies. Just tell me a story. Just about, because I didn't want him getting scared before he goes to bed. And then he goes, what about witches? And I go, no ghosts, no zombies, no witches. Do you understand? Yes, okay. Right, okay, go ahead. Okay, once upon a time, Daddy, there were no ghosts. And off he went. Oh, for flip's sake.
Have you let him watch A Nightmare Before Christmas yet?
Manny loves A Nightmare Before Christmas. He absolutely adores that. But we are all... with everything that's going on, we decided to just get stuck into Christmas early this year. And
that's a good show.
We've been gradually building up. So I've been out wiring plugs. I nearly got electrocuted, you know.
Why am I not surprised?
So last year, I bought one of those outdoor boxes.
Yeah. Right.
That you put an extension plug into.
Right.
And then you close the box over, and it's supposed to keep it dry.
Yes.
Right. So that's all right. It sat there all year in the garden.
Yeah.
Okay. And I come out this year to wire everything up, and
I'm waiting for it here. I'm waiting for it. I'm twitching, thinking this is going to be horrible.
And I lifted the box, and the box was really heavy and really, really warm.
Okay.
And I opened it up, and just as I opened it out, the whole house electrics just went, and the water was boiling. It was full of water, absolutely full of water. Right. And what I hadn't realized is I had never actually switched off the outside plug. So the actual thing was sitting in the water and had been boiling the water in the actual plastic box. So I came pretty close.
Yeah,
to
you're
it this
lucky.
year. Yeah,
you're
so,
lucky that that didn't go worse.
Yeah.
Can I get in your will for your Necromunda set?
God damn it, I meant to call dibs.
So yeah, that was a close call. So be careful. Check your boxes this year before Christmas because a wet box is a very dangerous thing.
May I suggest you turn off the power before you check your wet box?
And if your wet box is hot or warm to the touch, beware.
Stop touching.
Do not open it, or you could get the shock of your life.
Yeah, do not touch it.
Yeah, careful. But I have it all wired and stuff now. And
did you get a new box?
I got 3 new boxes.
Oh.
I am running a ton of lights this year.
Right.
Like, I mean, I am really going to town on the lights.
Are you daisy chaining these?
Sort of.
Oh God.
I'm not going into. I'm not going.
Do you know when Warren's holding back a lie is when he starts bobbing up and down a little bit.
Everything is LED. I've switched everything to LED, so it's all very low power.
Okay.
It's all very low ampage and stuff. So it's yeah, we're there.
Okay.
So for Christmas, you'd love some beasties.
So for Christmas, I would absolutely consider the mythology miniatures because you can do so much with them.
Yeah,
you can do so much with them. Love it.
I love the idea of using them as alternative Mythic Battles Pantheon.
Really?
Yeah. I love the idea of or just making up some of your own. Was there a Cyclops in Mythic Battles Pantheon? Not sure.
Just there is.
Is there?
They're bound to be.
Bound to be.
With the completeness of the way Mythic games and Monolith work,
just
bound to be.
chuck some of your monsters in. Have some alternate sculpts. Or
well, if you want to have Cerberus and not Cerberus.
Yeah, well, the Cerberus they have there is actually one of the most characterful. I've already said this a couple of weeks ago, but I thought the 3 faces and just the cunning, specifically in the one closest to the screen, had a real wry, kind of shifty, amazing look to
looks
intelligence.
Like Smaug, doesn't it?
Very much.
It has
actually,
a very Smaug kind of a look to it, doesn't it?
So yeah, I'm all for these as well.
Yeah, beautiful miniatures.
Cool.
Beautiful.
We have another Kickstarter, Ben. What's that?
Yeah, so the next Kickstarter is something a little bit different. It's called the Wilson Wolf Affair, and it's by Simulacrum Games. And anybody who's played Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective will know a little bit sort of about what this game is based around. The whole idea is that it's you start with a box full of strange goodies. There's all sorts of different crazy stuff in this box, and they're all effectively pieces of junk and memorabilia that were left behind by a studio animator in the story of the game, right? However, he's been hiding messages and plot and this sort of conspiracy in all of the work that he ever did. And so it's your job, starting off with his journal, his diary, to look through all of his bits and pieces, read through all his comic books, read through newspaper stories, play games, build toys, and work out what the conspiracy is that has affected the entire world. So this is a game that you can play with a whole bunch of different people, maybe go off and play individual bits of it and work out different parts of clues and things, and you just bring it all together into this overarching narrative
Is that blacklight bit?
Drives everything together. Yeah.
This is absolutely...
Sorry, Ben, we were all just...
Jesus. Oh my God, there is game of the year right there.
Look at the board, look at the Snakes and Ladders board rotating to an angle.
I'm looking at this coin where you roll it to pick out the letters you need.
Yeah,
that's a distance measure.
Yeah, the cool thing they've said about this game is that absolutely everything in the box may have something to do with the clues you need to solve the story. So it might be turning cards a certain way up. It might be, as you've seen there with the blacklight stuff, or using an open flame to check something. Maybe you need to rip open a box or get deeper into something that you already have. Basically, everything in this is made to be a puzzle that you solve. So it's the perfect thing for people that really like the idea of Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, or Detectives, the LA game that was on Kickstarter recently. This is basically an entire gaming year in a box, probably. So
my brain just went.
I am both equal parts excited and terrified of what I would do with that.
That is so special.
Yeah.
That is so special. We're witnessing a piece of game design there that I think will actually become a moment in our gaming history.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is quite special. How's that doing funding wise?
It's gone through its funding goal.
It's
about 10 grand past it, I think, at the moment.
I'm astounded. You know, I think that is a piece of game design will actually become a moment in our history in this industry that we will refer back to. Because
to play devil's advocate to you, the gameplay is still to be seen, and because it is a game. You know, it's something. Okay, it's an investigation. Okay, it's a collection of all these or things. But you know, saying that everything in the box may impact how those lead together and loop and spaghetti chain, and you know, when you're pinning them to a board and running CSI or Dexter cables from them, how that actually flows and how able you are to see actually, oh, I've been looking at this for 10 minutes. I now realize it's a dead end or this is not relevant. That's still to be seen for me. So I am hesitantly super excited because it could be astronomically good. It could also be potentially a bit of a mess.
It could be.
Well,
it could be.
It all starts off from a small white envelope that will contain the very start of the story and give you the bare bones of a system of rules that you use for this. So there is actually like a framework to how it all comes together.
Okay.
But it's still very much a free-form experience, a bit like Sherlock Holmes Goes as a Detective and these guys where you can pretty much go where you want and you know, investigate in different ways. So it's, as you say, it's going to be very interesting to see how it all comes together because this is a lot of stuff in one package. And considering the amount of bits and bobs they've got in here, it could go insane. I mean, they've even got links to use the online resources out there as well. So maybe you'll watch YouTube videos by the people behind the game, and that might also have clues in it as well.
See, it's tricky because Sherlock Holmes has one distinct advantage, which is everybody kind of knows how a detective story goes. You go and see the crime scene. You speak to the witness. You speak to you go and get the forensics. If you get stuck, you go and check out their home, the house of residence. Now, I've never three scenarios into Sherlock Holmes Consultant Detective. I'm yet to beat Sherlock.
You'll never beat Sherlock.
This rat. I'm still scenario 3. Anyway, but it has a framework, which means you never really feel at a complete loss. You're never like, I'm overwhelmed with options. So that initial envelope and those kind of little core rules that give you the guidance to get started, to me, will be key. I'm insanely excited for it, but what terrifies me most is, if anyone a big fan of IT Crowd? IT Crowd has a DVD, and if you go into the bonus extras, there's like a hidden button, and that hidden button opens up like a old style command kind of DOS entry thing where you can put in a code, and that takes you to a website which gives you an algorithm to work out, so you can decode the back of the DVD box to get another password. It's something that 0.000%, 1% of the people that watch the DVD are actually aware of, let alone would even start following the trail of. I wonder who it's for. I hope they don't go too deep.
Yes, but here's the thing. There's a difference between whether the game's successful in its own right and whether the game makes a mark on our history.
Absolutely.
Because you look at, there's a game very recently within the video game industry, Cuphead. Okay, Cuphead will go down in the history. Now, it doesn't matter whether Cuphead as a game itself it was from a gameplay perspective was particularly good or whatnot. The visual art direction, the innovation in the game itself is enough to make Cuphead become an inspiration for the games that will follow.
Absolutely.
I have a feeling, because of the innovative, if you bring that picture up, if you look at how much innovation there is within where the clues have been, how many different kinds of devices they've used, how much heat, UV lights, it's all in there. I think it's quite extraordinary, the breadth of vision that has went into this, and it'll be interesting to see if it acts as an inspiration. So regardless of how good this game itself is, I wonder, will it be enough to inspire other game designers who will then go, hang on a second, I wonder if there's other devices and things that we can bring into the games, because at the moment you get your chits, you get your dice.
But I'm not 100% with you on that, because like unlocked games, the exit rooms, the Sherlock Holmes of the world, they've touched this. Those were the inspiration for this. And
this went next level.
Don't by no means let me be understood, because the flame and the UV stuff, that's incredibly impressive, but I'll be super impressed if the whole thing as a package works. It's all one thing to say, because I've done escape rooms, physical escape rooms before, where there's been UV lights and there's been code solving. They're all things that in the back of your head you're kind of aware of as a system. I'll be waiting for the thing that, oh my god, that's not something that I've ever seen in anything ever before, or as I say, for it to work altogether. Whether it makes a moment in history, but whether it makes a moment in history or not, I'm not sure, because I feel like it's not as super unique as it maybe looks by being so broad.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, it's definitely super interesting. Go Ben.
The thing that's key to me is that if the actual narrative itself and the story behind this is intriguing enough to make you keep doing all the puzzles, because if that story feel like a coherent narrative going forward, then that'll be a drop of it.
Yeah.
But from the amount of effort they seem to have put in this, I kind of hope they've got the writing down as well. So hopefully. Yeah.
The question for me is, leading step to step, will you be able to see, okay, I finished the puzzle on this piece, so this is now leading me to this piece that I now need to examine, or is it just going to be a random mess of stuff that you have to start playing with?
Oh.
Even Sherlock Holmes has a thing in the back where it says, oh look, are you stuck? Well, on the back of the book, here are 10 things to do if you're stuck. And it's like, go and speak to Watson, go and speak to, I forget the name of the detective. No. Go and see, there's a few different contacts. Lestrange, yeah. And the last one is go and speak to Sherlock himself, which is like the fine. I am stuck. I'll go and speak to Sherlock. And it's like a real, so even that game, which doesn't have anywhere near as broad a range, still requires some kind of like, here's a helping hand.
Well, we'll see.
It's fantastic. It's a real arcade amusement show of just awesomeness. So it'll be good. Right, Kickstarter's done.
Yep.
We have 2 big things to finish off the show. First of all, we have a prize to give away.
Yes.
Sexy, lovely Justin, do you want to model the P.A.C. Mini? So, so we're giving away a P.A.C. Mini. The choice was for the P.A.C. Mini, the 3.5 inches of foam. You could have it in the standard, or you could have it in the Star Wars Destiny loadout. You know which one you want. Don't even lie to me. Saga Minis, Star Wars Destiny.
Can I say the winner?
You absolutely can. The person that won.
The person that won was Duster on Beasts of War. Congratulations, Duster.
Well done, Duster. Head up here.
Claim
up
prize
there.
Claim.
Claim your prize. Send us your details, and we will get that on the way to you.
Okay, we're giving away a Galactic Set. How can they win it?
This is cool. This is right. So on this video, whether again if you're on YouTube, come to beastsofwar.com. If you're on Facebook, if you click the link through, come to beastsofwar.com. Because on beastsofwar.com, on the weekend or on Saturday, we need you to come up with a name for your own galactic space station. So what would you call, if you're going to have a galactic space station that this terrain is going to be part of, what would you call yours for your crew in space?
A space station or a spaceship?
I'm going to say a space station. Because the galactic terrain is essentially that.
Okay.
So everyone, comment all you like, but everyone who puts in a suggested name, we will enter into a random draw to pick up one of those Battle Systems galactic terrain boxes. Absolutely gorgeous terrain set, which if you're backing Core Space would double up on the terrain you could do by that.
Yeah, but it's completely different to what you get.
Exactly. Yeah. So you'd literally be doubling the breadth of what you could do with complete variety. So suggest. I can't wait to hear what people come up with.
Of your space station.
Yeah,
we know
space
the one we don't want to hear.
Space station face.
Yeah. Now, we're not going to pick our favorite. We're not going to pick out any favorites and names. I want to just hear everything. But every single person that suggests a galactic space station name, we will enter every one of you into a draw and give you a chance to win that.
Can't say fairer than that.
Easy peasy.
On the
Better than Black Friday sales, it's free.
It's free! To close out the show, on the subject of space stations, right, do you remember that I signed you up to become a citizen of Asgardia? Right, okay. Justin, you may not know this, is an Asgardian, okay? The first part of the Asgardia space station is now being ready to be launched. Your citizenship now, Justin, is ready to start. There is one slight problem.
Right.
The first part of the space station is about the size of this cup.
Serious?
Yes, serious. It is going up. They're going to give you the opportunity to potentially send messages and stuff like that through it. So you and all the other Asgardians can get together and start
guarding the ass,
PMing each other and stuff like that there. But Justin, I can just imagine, Justin, the Asgardia space station, the first module is now up. And we get you into
Get me on a rocket.
We get you into this Californian crazy guy who's built his own rocket so as he can launch himself to prove that the Earth is flat. We'll get you a seat in that rocket. We'll get him to stop off at Asgardia and drop you off, and you'll be there just standing on your tippy toes on this tiny little box.
Oh, come on.
Looking down upon the flat Earth.
With a giant turtle in beneath it.
Yes. I think we're done.
I think we're done.
This day went weird.
Look, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. If you are on YouTube and Facebook, come to beastofwar.com because tomorrow we're going to do all of this again. You can sign up for a free account and get 7 days free pass on Backstage. So on Sunday, we have the XLBS where we relax, kick back, talk about our hobby, talk about your hobby, and have a bit of banter as well. So hopefully we shall see you tomorrow. If not, enjoy your weekend, and we shall see you soon.
Bye, guys. Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now, and be sure to check out beastofwar.com for the latest gaming news and gaming Let's Plays. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe, and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.